you still missed the point. The point of this black swan that they've probably showed you is that the horizon is behind the supposed refracted object, which is impossible. You still don't know what refraction you're trying to say it is. You have no clue. You're just saying it is. You bring up experiments that are irrelevant, and it still proves our point, and that's what we're trying to make you see. Do you get that?
You do not see. So you're saying that the oil rigs are not distorted. Is that what you're saying? You're saying there is no refraction in that image?
Did I say that? Did I say that at all?
Do you say there is no? No.
Did I say that at all?
No.
Did I say that at all? Okay. So don't put words into my mouth. What I'm saying is the experiment you brought up still shows the supposed horizon in front of the object that's being refracted. The black swan shows that the horizon is behind the oil rigs. The oil rigs have nothing to do with the black swan, dude. It's about the horizon, which you fail to understand.
What you fail to understand is that distortion happens throughout the image. You're telling me, wait.
I don't care about the oil rigs. I don't care about the oil rigs. Tell me where the horizon is in that picture.
Yes, it's behind the second rig.
Okay, it should not be behind the second rig. Do you get that?
Actually, the funny thing is that the horizon, if you go up in elevation, it would be behind the second rig.
But it's not. It's at 1 foot observer height. It should be at 1.22 miles. That's it. It cannot be further than that. Yes, if you go up in elevation, if you're at 6 feet, 10 feet, 100 feet, it should be behind the oil rig. Okay, but it's at 1 foot observer height.
Can I ask you Can I ask one question about this image? Is there refraction in this image?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. That's it. Thank you.
Can the horizon be refracted?
You're welcome. Whatever. I don't know what point you're trying to make, but
the horizon is also
high level
of course, but because it's a straight line, you don't know.
The horizon cannot be
refracted. God
damn, it can't be. If the horizon is what it is, it can't be refracted.
I understand. Okay, thank you. In a different image where we do not see the horizon, how is that possible? Why we have an image of that?
Where show me an image where you don't see the horizon. Go ahead.
Like fog?
It's not what I said. I said in this image of the oil rigs. I said
we see the horizon.
I mean, obviously, not to see it behind the second rig. No, come on.
We see it behind the second rig. See, the horizon is a maximum distance. Maximum. There can be minimums down to just about 0 depending on the conditions. So the horizon and the calculations to it are maximums. But the problem is, because of the fixed distance of the oil rigs, we know that the horizon is way farther than the maximum calculated for an Earth of a radius that standard cosmology gives us. This is impossible unless two different things. Either A, the Earth is much larger than we're told, in which case you have issues with gravity to work out, or B, it's flat. No other choices. You can't refract out of this. The end of the internet.
I didn't understand any of that. Let me ask you something again. I'm sorry. If I'm looking at an image, I'm looking at the same image on a different day, and the horizon looks like it's in front of the second rig, what does it tell you?
Show us an image where the horizon will ever be in front of any of those oil rigs. The horizon. Not just limited vision, but horizon.
I've answered that, though. I've already answered him. Even if there is an image that shows that, it shows that the horizon is apparent. It moves back and forth depending on the atmospheric condition. It is not geometric like your globe says it is.
And if it's not geometric, which it isn't, it never is in anybody's quote-unquote model, then how can anybody say it proves something about things going over a non-geometric barrier? It's nonsense.
Okay, so the girl who spoke just before, you said that the horizon moves with atmospheric condition. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Thank you.
As a maximum. We said that too. Maximum.
Okay. Amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So that happens only on a flat plane. That the atmosphere changes. How further will we see the horizon?
Nobody said it only happens in a flat plane. All we're saying is that if the Earth is a ball, then you should not see the oil rigs because of their distance, and the horizon is even farther than that. It disproves the ball. It does not prove what else shape the Earth is. It disproves that it's a ball. We're not trying to prove the Earth flat. We're just saying it isn't a ball.
Okay. Like you're still, so you admit that there's distortion in the image. You admit that conditions move the horizon further away or closer, right?
Do you understand what maximum means?
But then when I understand what maximum means.
No. Okay, conditions can't push it beyond maximum. They can't.
Then you need to talk to your friend here, and you need to decide. Okay.
So no, we're not contradicting.
Again, does atmospheric condition change the horizon?
It can make it nearer, but not farther than the maximum. The oil rigs are beyond the maximum. In ideal conditions, it's the farthest you can see, right? The horizon can't go any farther in ideal conditions. Okay? Since they're beyond the oil rigs, which should be behind the curve, physical obstruction, and they're not, then either your Earth diameter is way too small or it's not a ball.
Amazing.
Let me ask you this. Maybe we misunderstand you. Do you think the horizon is physical or is it apparent?
Physical or apparent? I would say I'm talking to myself. I would say it's apparent.
Okay. So on a globe, you have to have a physical horizon. Your horizon on this globe that they tell you cannot be just apparent. It has to be physical. Because
I accept that and I correct myself.
You correct yourself as in?
I said I accept that. And let's say that now the horizon is physical. If by physical, did you mean a distance away from me?
It is a physical location where the ball starts to curve
away.
Like there is a physical horizon. Or is it apparent?
You probably didn't. I don't know if you were here in the beginning, but I said, you know what? I don't know.
I wasn't here in the beginning, so I'm asking you right now.
Yeah. So what I said in the beginning is that I don't see a drop. I see a result of a drop. Like I do not see the Earth curves down. No, I don't see that. But I see the result of it.
Explain how you can see the result of something that you can't see.
That's exactly what I just posted in the chat, by the way.
Yeah.
Stop trying to disprove the curve and explain why we see so far. Because this has been going on for 3 hours. I don't know why I'm still here. This conversation, it's crazy.
Fun. It's fun. You guys gonna
So, are you telling me you've been having a conversation about the Black Swan, about the Horizon for 3 hours, and you still don't get it?
Exactly. He does.
Nope.
Yeah.
We started with some videos that Flatters had.
Dude, admit it. Admit it. The conversation been going for 3 hours. The same damn thing. Come on, admit it.
Listen. It's all good, man. Like everybody takes their time, and you know, in this journey. But like, you have to at least be a little bit honest. You can't be going back and forth about what your beliefs are. One second it's apparent, the next is physical, the next you don't know. Like if you're not sure, just say, you know what, I don't know. I'm gonna go look into it. It's not.
I said that, and I said, and first, the second you said there's like a distance, and I said, oh, you know what? I correct myself. If you're talking about distance from me to what, to the start of a drop, sure. But the other thing I said is that I cannot see it by eye, telling you it's that point that I'm pointing at.
Yeah, but they're telling you it is that point. They're giving you a specific number. They're telling us it is there, right there, over there at 1.22 miles. So if we see further than 1.22 miles, then obviously it is not there at 1.22 miles, right?
If you ignore
there's no
refraction.
If. There is no. I'm not ignoring it. I asked you what refraction. You don't know. You're just saying stuff. You don't even know. So if you want to tell me specifics about what type of refraction you're talking about, then we can sit down and talk. But if you don't even know, you're just saying,
are there? What type of are you talking about? Like,
you tell me. You're the one. You're the one. You're the one invoking refraction. You tell me. Educate me at what type of refraction causes the horizon to be 10 times further away.
I know that refraction means breaking of light. That light bends.
How many types? How many types? Name the types of refraction. You said that you knew what they are. You're going to tell us what the different types of refraction are.
Never said I know what they are.
So you don't know.
Don't invoke it then. If you don't know it, don't invoke it. Just
you're
say
ignoring
you don't know.
No,
I'm not ignoring it.
You're ignoring the distortion. You ignore it. I say the reason.
I actually told you there is a distortion of the oil rigs. Excuse me.
Yes.
Excuse me, but I did not ignore it. I acknowledge there is distortion of the oil rigs, but I also told you this specific argument has nothing to do with the oil rigs. The oil rigs are just there to show you how far that specific for distance measurement. Basically, it has nothing to do with the oil rigs. It's about the horizon. And things usually get refracted over the horizon. The horizon itself doesn't get refracted. So unless you can tell me what type of refraction refracts the horizon, then we don't need to talk about anything. And you keep saying I'm ignoring it. You don't even know what I'm ignoring.
So you're saying
refraction is being ignored.
So you're saying that the upper, so the upper image or the upper part of the
you're not answering
is just a second. I'm saying
no. You're trying to red herring. Answer our question. How many types of refraction are there?
I don't know. So the other part, the upper part of the oil rigs is distorted, and you're saying that the lower part isn't.
I don't care about the oil rigs. Why do you keep bringing up the oil rigs, bro? Nobody cares about the oil rigs here.
I'm not talking about the oil rigs. I'm talking about the position in the image. So you're saying the upper part of the image is distorted, right? But the lower part isn't. Is that correct?
But he said
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to you because you're still talking about the oil rigs.
Yeah, we don't want to hear about oil rigs anymore.
I won't say. Perfect. I won't say that. So there's
we want you to
in the image. The upper part of the image is distorted. Now you're saying the lower part isn't.
Dude, we want you to tell us how many types of refraction there are.
I don't understand. You asked me 3 times and I answered.
You have not answered.
No.
All right. So since you don't know, then how can you invoke it? How can you invoke refraction? I don't care about the distortion in the oil rigs. How can you tell us that refraction is causing something when you don't even know what type of refraction it is?
Does refraction causes stuff to distort?
You gotta
tell me which type. Which type causes that? Let's talk about the oil rigs. Which type of refraction is causing the oil rigs to be distorted like that? Please tell me.
I don't know.
Then why are you talking about it?
About what? About the distortion? because it's there.
Oh my gosh. Dude,
you know what?
Man.
I'm sorry. Then I'm sorry.
I haven't been on here for like a week, and this is like gold right now. I'm feeling it. I'm getting my mojo back.
Are you recording so you could make fun of that later?
Oh, I never really go back to listen to the recordings, bro. So
okay.
Somebody else might be.
They're saying in the chat there's someone named SQD Bierman is new to the topic, and we should move on.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Like I said, this has been going on for so damn long, and I'm trying to learn here. I'm new to this. I'm the one that recently decided, listen, I do not believe that I live in a ball spinning through spinning through space at 1.3 million miles per hour. I don't believe that. And I'm not saying that the Earth is flat, but I'm just saying that I don't believe in the ball round Earth going through space at these ridiculous speeds. And I'm just trying to learn here, but for the past 3 hours, it's been the same thing. And it's like, come on, I want to learn something new, please, guys. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. We can let Spider, take a break, go drink some water, whatever. Do a little bit of research about the refraction, and we can get back to him later. Go ahead, ask your questions, I guess.
Oh no! So I just want to listen what you guys got to say. I had my say 5 hours ago. I've been here for a long time already. I'm just saying, like, I want other guys to ask questions and stuff. But yeah.
Okay, got it. All right, let's see who's here.
Like, maybe discuss. I want to hear his point of view, for instance, of why we see so far. Then, but we just keep on saying the same thing. Okay, I see the curve. Okay, you don't see the curve. I see the curve. You see the curve. I see the curve. You don't see the curve. It's like, okay, then why do we see the boat or the ship 60 kilometers away? Like, why do we see it then? I want to know his point of view that way, because we disproving him the whole time. He's disagreeing with it.
He's giving us refraction, so he's trying, but it's just not working out.
Yeah. So I had a question early on. Maybe you can answer this one for me. So yeah, by the way, I'm from Cape Town, South Africa. So I'm gonna mix my answer around. I got a few US friends, on Discord, so I'm used to mixing it around. So I sometimes flop it around. But anyways, my question is, why do, when they go to Antarctica, they always go to the south of South America? I've only seen it once where it's been brought up, where they go, if you look at the flat Earth map, to the right-hand side of the map, that they've landed there. Why don't they go to other places? Because Antarctica is all the way around. Why don't we hear of reference to another place of Antarctica? I'm not trying to disprove it. I'm just asking why. Or do you have any more articles or something where they go to a different place of Antarctica?
Can you clarify? You're saying nobody ever goes to much of Antarctica except off the southernmost point of South America?
Yeah, so this is my research. I'm still new into this. I don't believe I live on a ball, and I'm trying to figure out where I live. And this is what I'm trying to get at. It's like, when I'm trying to find out, okay, Antarctica, what is Antarctica? My research is always, I understand flat Earth's been covered up like so badly now by Google and governments and stuff, so it's very difficult to find information. So I just want to know, like, out of all my searching, I only see them landing at the bottom of South America, but I found one article where someone mentions that they went, if I look at the flat Earth map, on the right hand side of the map. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, I think just looking at it, if that's the case, which I haven't researched how many places they've gone from main land masses to Antarctica from, but that's the shortest distance. So it makes sense from that perspective that you would take, from the farthest, these closest civilized landmass to Antarctica to make the shortest trip over the ocean. That's all I could say off the top of my head. But I don't know if people have gone from like Australia or the southern tip of Africa. I like I said, I haven't researched that, so I don't know.
Yeah, so that's where my thing is. The whole thing is, I understand the treaty in that, and if you look at this, the size of it, I think it's 60,000 miles, if I'm not mistaken, the circumference of Antarctica. It's going to be very difficult to, I would say, cut that border off, with the treaty. So, why haven't they tried on a different route?
Well, that isn't really, we don't claim a model, so that's just one possible scenario. So it really wouldn't prove anything either way. We don't say that the AE map is necessarily the way things really are.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that answers my question, because I also say, like, the map is, I would say, 70% accurate. I'm happy with that. It's just, I don't want to. I just want to hear that you guys also say, okay, that map is not 100% proof, but it's more or less accurate. But after, like I said in the beginning,
more accurate than the Mercator. Accurate than the Mercator map, the Peterson's projection map, or the Robinson's map. Yeah, it's more accurate than that. Right.
Oh yeah, you've been here since I started, or since I got here. Oh, well done. How's it, man?
That's right.
Yeah. So let me just explain to the ladies here as well. Like, I'm also very new to this, and I am no longer a globe believer. And I'm not going to say I'm a flat earther, or I know the Earth is flat. I'm going to say I believe the Earth is flat until I've proved it myself. So I'm in the market for a nice camera to prove it for myself, to say that I believe, that I know that the Earth is flat. But at the moment, I just believe it's flat. So that's my position.
Right.
Yeah. You don't actually need the camera to prove it, though.
Can I ask a question?
Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
You talked about maps. Is there a flat Earth map?
So that was my exact question now, and that's what they're saying, that it's not 100% accurate. So yeah, that's as far as I also understand.
Is there a 100% accurate map, flat Earth, that we can actually navigate with?
There is no
100%
such thing for
accurate
either.
map. But if you look, so if you look at the azimuthal equidistant map, that's a pretty good map.
Is it accurate? Can I navigate with it?
You can navigate
Gleason's
with
map,
it,
apparently, yes.
But
we really know is east, west, north, south. Yeah. I mean, if you go east a certain number of distance from a starting point, that number of distance, I don't know why I said that, but anyway, certain distance, number of miles or kilometers or whatever from a point, and you always, everyone who goes that distance from that point going east arrives at a certain destination, the same destination every time. We at least know that if we go east this far, we'll get to this certain point. And, basically anything you would know from any other, like a street map or anything else, on how people navigate the oceans, you can use the stars or the sun. All we know is our 4 cardinal directions and distances and times. What actual shape that is a question, none of us can answer until we get, if it were possible, to get far enough away from the surface to see the whole thing.
Fair enough.
So how come? Can I ask a question? How come I don't understand how navigation. Let's say there's a pilot in Australia, right? And if you look at the common, flat Earth projection, Australia is really stretched. So that pilot in Australia, does he use, like, what maps is he using? Because it is accurate. He's leaving one airport and go to another airport, and they're exactly where they say it is relations to him. So what map, what data is he using to see that?
the same maps anybody else would use. They're all flat, north, south, east, west maps and straight lines.
So you're saying a flat, because map is a flat, then we're all using the same map? I just told you, for example, if you look at the flat Earth projection, Australia is stretched.
Yeah, I know.
And now so he's not using that. So he's using, let's say, a different map. He's not using the flat Earth projection, right? Or
yeah, I mean, he's using, for navigation, like whether it's on the ocean or the sky, they can use, normally they'll use GPS, which is ground positioning system. Yes, there are buoy marker, in the ocean having antennas on them, and so they don't have to be on land. But suddenly we had an echo. Anyway, the thing is, they know that if they go a certain distance in a certain angle, they're going to arrive at a certain place. And it says nothing about the shape of the Earth. All they know, any pilot's instructions that I've seen say, is that they think of the land, the surface, whether it's land or ocean, as flat. And they just go directions and distances.
And what does it say about their navigation system, about the maps that they use?
They're all flat. They're all flat maps.
Yes, yeah, I understand. So you're saying a map is flat because it's a map,
works.
And
the maps they're using are not related to a spherical ball Earth. That's exactly what I'm trying to say to you. So whatever navigation that has ever happened on this Earth before we were born, and when maps were always made in relation to the topography, which is level, plain. It was never calculated and used as a spherical map, for a spherical ball. Those maps don't.
And what happens? Can you take, let's say, you take that flat map of Russia and Australia, and you're trying to put them together, kind of in relation. Those two flat maps. Can you do that if you're trying to put that on a sphere?
Yeah.
Why would we want to do that?
Mm-hmm. The tricky thing that they've done is they took flat Earth, projected onto a sphere, and then took that and then projected it back flat again. So they took flat, made it a sphere, and then took the sphere and made it flat. So
one second point of order, illegal. And Jen, I want to remind you guys it's ladies' night. Let the ladies ask and answer questions. Thank you.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Oh, I did not know that. Sorry. Yeah, ladies' night. Woot woot.
Or making maps, we can get more accurate maps.
Jen, did you hear me?
Yes. Okay, I can hear you now.
Thank you. Please let the ladies ask and answer questions.
Oh, sorry. Is it ladies? Oh, bloody, I forgot. Sorry, the ladies.
It's all good.
I should step right
say it 5 more times, maybe it'll stick.
Sorry, ladies.
Did you assume my gender, bro? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'll go on mute. I'm on mute.
Thank you.
If I were to try to what I hear him saying is, can I use this AE map to navigate? Nobody would do that. All the maps people use to navigate are sections. If you're going, say, across the ocean, and because if you're on land, you're going to use a regular street map. But if you're going across the ocean, you're going to navigate by GPS, sun, moon, stars, and go a certain distance. And from experience that you need X amount of fuel, and it's going to take a certain amount of time. And you really don't go by a whole Earth map of any sort. I don't know if that answers the question, but asking us if we use an AE map to navigate, I mean, nobody would use a whole Earth map to navigate anyway.
Why do you say that? I'm in my car, I can open Google Maps, zoom out, and I'll still see a sphere, and it's still accurate to my position.
That's just their projections. I mean, it doesn't, just because you can zoom out on Google Maps and see a sphere, I mean, they programmed it to do that.
But it's accurate. I can go.
No, but I can do that on
No, the sphere part is not accurate.
No.
I can do that on a square.
It's not accurate.
Hold on. When you zoom, hold on, Spider. When you're using your GPS, you don't go zoom out and use the whole sphere to navigate.
I did not say I'm using
like
GPS.
She said, hold on. Yeah, but what What you're talking about is navigation. You actually zoom in, and it will like give you specific sectionally. It will give you specific distances. It doesn't give you your distance based on the sphere. It is just a computerized model that they use, and you're actually going to use that as your proof that it is a globe, like a computerized image.
I mean, I could take, if I had the time, to code something that would take a flat map and zoom out to, I don't know, a dodecahedron. How's that? It doesn't prove anything just because I can make a smooth transition. It's just like morphing software. You can take any face or shape and morph it into anything else, and it looks smooth and seamless. I mean, it's how they do a lot of that CGI in Hollywood, where they'll turn some person into a monster or whatever. Transitions like that don't prove anything.
Right. I didn't talk about transition. Let's say this thing. I'm looking at Google Maps, right, and Google Earth, and I'm checking the distance between, let's say, I don't know, fucking Ontario, I don't know, Toronto to, I don't know, San Paulo something, Mexico, I have no idea, right? Now, it gives me a distance, right? A specific distance. Then I take my car and I drive that and I come to the same distance. What does that mean? That means that the map from the globe is not accurate, or it is accurate?
It means the globe shape has nothing to do with it. Sorry, go ahead.
I just say
I was going to say exactly that. Hold on, dude. You're assuming just because you pulled up a CGI globe model and they placed a map on it, and they're telling you it's this distance, that you assume it's accurate. Therefore, it has to be a globe. That's illogical, dude. I can tell you right now from here to my school, accurate. It's 1 mile. Hold up, it's 1 mile away, right? From here to the school, it was 1 mile away. Does that and if I put that 1 mile into a globe, does that mean this specific 1 mile that I'm on is a globe? No, they just place the distances on a globe model, like on a globe CGI model.
Yeah.
Do you get that?
I understand. And let's say you're not talking.
Oh, hold on. Let her finish.
Oh, did you guys hear me? Sorry, did I robot?
No, we can hear you.
Hello? Oh, cool. Yeah, and I just wanted to add too, it just means that someone measured from point A to point B. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden it's gonna create some shape magically just because point A and point B were measured, you know?
If people measure stuff on the ground first, and then they make maps, you know, and then they can, like I said, morph it into any shape they want.
Maps. Yeah, that's how you make maps. Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with it being a globe. It doesn't mean a globe is accurate.
How come you take those maps, and when you put them on a globe, they fit perfectly?
I could put them on a square. I could put them on a soccer ball.
I have a question for Spider.
Yeah, you're missing the point. You know, you're missing the point, man.
So you're saying that the map makers, cartographers, they measure on the ground, right? I agree. They measure on the ground, and then they build the map. And now
it's flat.
And it's flat. And now, well, depends on the distance that they make, right?
No, it doesn't.
Now let's take 15 million of those maps and put them together and put them flat on a table. Will it sit correctly?
Hold on, I have a question.
If you put them on a globe, will they sit correctly?
They won't fit on a globe. I can guarantee you that. They've tried. It can't be done. That's why they have all these funny shaped maps.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to pull up something that they actually use. It's the square one where they have all the continents like on one page. Have you ever seen those?
Sorry,
where it's like the sections are equidistant. Hold on, I need to pull it up so that you can see it.
Okay. While you get that, I got a question for Spider then. Spider, so I was on the golf course about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It might be a little bit longer. I got the video on my phone. The sun was out and the moon was just over Table Mountain, but it was crescent, or it had like, missing moon. It was like a half a moon or 3/4 moon. How is that possible on a spherical Earth if apparently the Earth is making a shadow on the moon? I want to know how is that possible.
Say that again.
So I was on the golf course. I was playing golf. I got the video on my phone. I can upload it as well. And actually upload it to Google Drive. I shared it with someone else. So the sun is out, and I was busy playing golf in the daytime, and a few kilometers the other direction, just above Table Mountain, the moon was visible, but the moon was only like 3/4 moon.
Okay. Yeah.
So how's that possible if the Earth is supposed to be putting the shadow on the moon?
And you think that every time is the shadow of the Earth on the moon? You think every time that the moon is a bit obscured or there's a shadow?
That's how I understand it. That's how I've been taught.
Then that's incorrect, person. That's incorrect.
Let me. Yeah.
I'm sorry to tell you that.
Yeah, actually, Spider is correct on this one.
Okay, so this is just a question. It's a legitimate question.
No. So you're talking about the faces of the moon, and they don't claim that's being shadowed by that is not the shadow of the moon. It's just the faces of the moon.
Why did they
it's not the shadow of the Earth on the moon. Sorry, it's the eclipses. You're confusing them with the eclipses.
No, but now I watch a lot of modern day debate, and they always debate that is the Earth's shadow.
Then
no.
I mean, obviously we agree that it's not the Earth's shadow.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I agree with Spider on this one because he has his own reasons why he thinks is that, but it's not that they don't claim it's the Earth's shadow. I don't know who's arguing that the moon phases are the Earth's shadows. Only the lunar eclipses are the Earth's shadows, supposedly. But even then, I don't agree. Obviously, it's not the Earth's shadow, but we have to present the proper
okay, sure. So what is the globe reason? Because I've only learned now the flat Earth reason. What is the globe reason? Because I've always thought it was the Earth's shadow. To be honest, I was brought up that way.
We can have Spider explain that.
Yeah, I would love to learn it. I love to learn both ways.
Spider, what's the causes of the moon phases?
It's very simple. It's the shadow of the moon on itself.
Huh?
Sorry. Can you explain that again?
It's the shadow of the moon on itself.
Okay, no. No, okay.
I've never heard it again explained that way. That's very interesting.
Wow. Okay, no.
Seriously? You want me to explain how a sphere casts a shadow on itself?
Yeah, please.
Yes, please explain that. How can I cast a shadow on myself?
If you never done that, that's quite weird.
No, but then you notice sphere moon. It's the moon is spherical. Okay, but is the moon fucking a sphere then, or is it like a zigzag?
It's like, I mean, listen, we're all here to teach and learn to each other. So I've never heard it being explained this way. From what I know, there's a different reason why the moon has phases. So if you can explain that, how something casts a shadow on itself, that would be awesome. I've never seen it done, so that I'm curious.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
So you never seen a ball casting shadow on itself where only half of it is lit? You never played soccer, tennis.
Maybe it's the English. Maybe it's the English. Maybe like there's a misunderstanding of how you're explaining it. But I've never seen a shadow being casted on the ball itself where the ball itself is casting the shadow.
Yeah, I've also never seen that.
Do you know how shadows work?
So the half side of the sphere that is in darkness, what does that mean? If it's in darkness, what is that?
Where's the light coming from? If it makes its own shadow, where's the light coming from?
Yeah, how's the moon lit
opposite
then?
Side of the shadow.
Where is the light coming from?
From the opposite side of the shadow.
I think I can illuminate the situation.
There's a straight line. There's a straight line.
No pun intended here.
No, see, what you're saying is that there must be some light source, right? The thing isn't casting its own shadow. It's just blocking the light from something else, right?
I'm sorry, dude. I didn't mean to put you in this corner. It's a legitimate question. I'm trying to learn as well.
If you don't mind, I could explain it.
No, hold on. I want to hear his explanation.
What was the last question?
His will be the same as mine, I believe.
Okay, cool.
I think I can just explain it a little better.
Let him finish.
What was the last question with that girl? I didn't hear it. The other girl.
Yeah, Spider wants to
level
explain
up. Level up, I think.
Again, what I'm asking is when you say something makes its own shadow, that's impossible. You have to have an external light source, and something is blocking the light, and then there's a shadow behind it, right? We wouldn't say it makes its own shadow.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, I'm saying I'm acknowledging what you said. I don't agree with it.
No,
Stick, do you mind if I explain this really quick? Because I think it might be
simple.
Just you're not using the right
let him
very
explain his own stuff, bro. You'll get
very
your
simple.
chance. I will give you your chance. Trust me.
There's a light comes from a star. It's called the sun. That light comes to the moon. The part that are in darkness are the shadow of the moon on itself.
Not on itself.
No, with the sun outside right next to it. I'm sorry, no, that doesn't make sense. Because I see
that's not how shadows work.
No, but I've got a video of it.
Do you know what a shadow is? Do you know what a shadow is?
You never see a full moon fully, because when you see a full moon, we see one side of it. The other side is in darkness.
Yeah, that's not a shadow.
Why is it in darkness? Because
so how do you want to? You want me to say instead of shadow, I say darkness? Is that what you want?
Well, I want you to use the proper words for it. A shadow clearly has its own definition. Something cannot cast its own shadow on itself.
What do you mean? You never put a hand in front of you to block the sun? You never put a shadow?
Yeah, but my hand is not being shadowed upon itself. That doesn't make sense, bro.
Take a ball. Take a football, put it out in a sunny day.
We've been over this.
Okay, maybe, yeah.
Look, I think he's just not using the right language. I think I can explain it pretty well if you would allow me.
Explain what is this darkness.
Hold on. Listen, Spider, I don't mind you not being able to explain it, but you have to be intellectually honest and say, I don't know, or you don't know the definition, the proper English definition of it. Don't just stick to something like a freaking zealot when you don't understand it. This is so ridiculous. Anyway, yeah, Femboy, go for it, bro.
Now, when you have a light source, let's just say you have a lamp in your room and you're standing at a fixed point in that room, all right? You have someone else walking around with the big beach ball and they're moving it around. It's going to appear different parts of that moon or that beach ball are going to be illuminated. So the lights that's reflected off is going to be that which is in line of sight of the light source. So the parts that are not being in line of sight of the light source, the ones that are blocked due to the angle between the beach ball and the lamp, they're going to appear dark. So there's not any light that's bouncing off of it that's being sent to Earth. That's why they appear dark.
Okay, Femboy. Is that a shadow?
Yeah. So
is that a shadow?
Blocked, what is causing it? It's a shadow.
Hold on, Spider. Hold on.
Sorry.
Hold on. Yeah, no worries. Femboy, is that a shadow being casted on itself?
If you have a light and you put it on your face, is the back of your head illuminated? Now, if someone looks at the back of your head, they might think that there's...
Is that dark part of my head being shadowed on my head?
It is a shadow, but it's not being created by something else. It's just the angle at which the light is being projected and how you're viewing it.
Yeah, it's a shadow, but what's creating that? What's blocking the sun?
Okay.
How am I putting a shadow onto myself? How do I get
angle.
Maybe I need to take English 101 again. I don't know, guys.
No.
But from what I know, a shadow, you cannot cast something on itself. You need the light source, and you have the shadow behind of the object behind whatever it's going to be casted on. You cannot cast a shadow onto yourself.
See, in the scenario, if you're shining a light bulb at my head, and behind me, the shadow where my head is blocking light is on the wall. My head,
yes, but also the back of your head is not illuminated,
but not casting it on itself.
The back of your
head is not being illuminated. Not being illuminated is not a shadow. Do you guys know? I'm going to pull up the definition of shadow.
We can get into the semantics if we want, but it's
not about semantics, dude. No, it's not semantics. You're saying that the moon has faces because the shadow is being casted upon itself. Right. What shadow is being casted upon itself?
It is
exactly. You said that, and now you're defending the claim.
There is one thing that you guys are missing.
Maybe I can explain it in a different way because I think
you've explained well enough. Let me put.
We understand.
Well, I must not have explained well enough because it hasn't been conveyed.
Let's see. If you have, I'll say it again. You put a ball. You have a light on it. The shadow is not being cast on the ball. The ball is casting a shadow on a wall behind it. It doesn't cast a shadow on itself. It simply has an unlit half. That is not a shadow. That is not casting a shadow on itself. That's how you define that.
What if there is only one light source? What if there is only one light source? Why
I was talking
your head
about
dark?
One light source. That's the example I just used. We haven't talked
about it, but the moon is only one light source, either the sun.
I've only been talking about one light source the whole time.
If you're talking about only one light source, and you're saying that the back of your head is in darkness, that means that something is casting shadow, something is blocking the light to arrive there.
And it's the moon. Yes. It's the other side of the moon which is blocking the light.
See, you guys, you don't listen to a complete answer. Is why you keep going around in circles, because you cut us off every time we try to explain it. And then you go back to the same thing again. What we're saying is, so you put a ball in the middle of the room and you shine one light source on it. Yep. There will be a shadow on the far wall behind that. Okay? But the dark side of that ball, is not casting a shadow on itself.
No, it's being casted shadow by itself.
A shadow is just something that's blocking, that's a result of blocked light.
I give up.
Yes, hold on. It is a result of blocked light. However, that blocked light is not being casted upon itself. Do you understand the difference? You're saying that when you shine a light on a ball, the dark part of that ball is the shadow casted on itself. How can the ball cast the shadow on itself? It doesn't.
It's not casting a shadow on itself. What it's doing is just not being illuminated. And
we understand.
He didn't say it's not being illuminated. You could just... No, he didn't.
The other guy doesn't understand it. That's the problem. But all of this came from wondering about moon phases. And we just asked about what's causing moon phases, and we got into this thing where we can't even define what a shadow is. That's why we don't make progress.
If you would like, you can look up the definition of shadow, and
we know that already. We don't think you guys understand.
And I posted the definition
can you tell
in the
us
chat.
What the definition is? Let's for the benefit of the listeners. Would you mind telling us?
We explained it. I don't know how many ways.
The dark figure cast upon a surface by a body intercepting the rays from a source of light. That's the definition of a shadow.
So I would go as far as to say that the front of in your example, in your room with a light, and you're facing the light, and the front of your face is illuminated, the back of your head is in shadow, but the actual shadow that is being cast by your silhouette against the wall behind you, that is a shadow.
Yes,
the back of your
in
head being
space you wouldn't
in
be able to
darkness and not
depict it from the background
illuminated
because it's all
is
equally not illuminated.
is in darkness or in the shadow. It's not a shadow that your head casts upon itself. It's ridiculous notion.
Yep. That is exactly what I was trying to say.
Okay, well, what would you constitute the lack of illumination on the opposite side of your head?
It is in shadow because the front of your head is obscuring the light from reaching the back of your head.
Yep. And what would you constitute that as?
The back of your head isn't being
the unlit part.
The front part is. Again.
Okay, yeah, the part of your head which is not illuminated, what would you call that?
It is causing the light not to be able to reach the back of your head.
Okay, so you would call it something that is there a word for that?
It is in darkness.
Unilluminated.
Okay, so it's in darkness.
But that's
and somebody used the term shadow, and you knew what they were talking about.
That's not what he said, dude. I'm sorry, hold on. He said that is being casted upon itself. The shadow is being casted upon itself by the object itself. We're not denying like that.
It like that is poor way to explain it, in my opinion. I think that it puts a different image in someone's mind.
That claim. Stop defending that claim. You can explain what a shadow is and what dark side of unilluminated is, but his claim is clear. No, it's not. Is it being casted upon itself? On itself? Is the shadow being casted on itself?
You're just arguing semantics at this point. Part of the image is not illuminated. You accuse me of interrupting.
Trash.
You know what? I think these boys are extremely shady. Okay, if we're gonna talk about shadows, let's talk about how shady these boys are. Okay, y'all are being just difficult. Y'all are being difficult. We should.
I'm sorry.
The moon
that's
can't even exist in the medium that we're told that it's in. Okay, that's your bigger problem than what you want to call the dark side of the moon. We don't have time to talk about. You want to talk about the dark side of the moon? Let's listen to Pink Floyd. Okay, the moon can't even exist.
I don't know what you're.
The moon can't even exist in the medium that they tell us it's in. Okay, that's a problem for y'all, not for us. The vacuum.
Okay,
you can't have a pressurized system here on Earth, uncontained, next to a vacuum.
Okay.
Physically impossible.
In your model or in your perspective of
the
physical world. Okay, that's why I corrected it. In your perspective.
Natural law, not my perspective. Natural law.
Okay. In your interpretation of natural law, the moon is
not our interpretation. The definition of entropy. Something we can observe, test, and replicate.
What's the definition of entropy?
Have a good evening, everybody. I gotta go. It was fun. Thank you. Bye bye. I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Au revoir.
Who was leaving?
That was Spider.
Shadow guy.
The shadow.
Anyways, for the benefit of the listeners, can you tell me what entropy is?
High pressure going to low pressure.
Okay.
So, for example, my favorite analogy. Yeah. My favorite analogy of just something that you can observe is you hotbox your car, you roll down the windows, the carbon dioxide from your blunt is going to fill the available space outside. Okay? Except in this, if we want to remodel the Earth and fit it into the analogy, it'd be like smoking a joint inside your car with the windows down and thinking that the smoke is going to stay in the car. Not to mention the car is going to be spinning on its axis at 1,000 miles per hour and then rotating around the sun at 66,000 miles per hour. This is physically impossible. So you can argue about the moon, the dark side of the moon, but the moon can't even exist in the medium that we're told it's in. So I would be
Why can't the moon exist in a vacuum?
Because a vacuum can't exist itself. Because what we know for a fact here is that we have pressurized gas. We have a pressurized system. You can measure that with a barometer. Okay?
Yep.
So we know that. That's not questionable. But what they say that is our next door neighbor outside cannot exist. Because we have
in your mind, what's a vacuum?
A vacuum is ultimate low pressure.
It's not in our mind either. It's just the standard definition.
Ultimate low pressure. And there's different degrees of vacuums, but outer space is the ultimate low pressure medium.
So we concede that it's not a thing that sucks. Like vacuum of space.
When did I say not a vacuum? When did I say the word suck?
I'm just asking for clarification.
No, it's just ultimate low pressure. But like I said, with entropy, high pressure goes to low pressure, always.
Mm-hmm.
Unless
and you think that it should expand.
Unless there's a physical container, right? Like I said with the analogy of hotboxing my car. The gas is going to stay in my car. When I say gas, I mean the carbon dioxide from a blunt is going to stay in my car until I roll the windows down. But if I have no windows in my car, no physical container, then the gas is not going to stay in my car.
Yep,
it's
that's
not.
absolutely
and
right.
Even gravity. I got in an argument with my grandpa, who's a PhD chemist, and he couldn't even answer the question because we're told
what question was it that you asked him?
How can we have a pressurized system here on Earth, uncontained, next to a giant vacuum? And he said gravity. Well, the problem is entropy doesn't care about gravity, or entropy wouldn't be a thing, because if I am even just smoking a joint outside, the gas would just always go down if gravity affected gas. Or better yet, when I roll my windows down after I hotbox my car, why isn't the gravity keeping the gas inside? Actually, entropy defies gravity always, because
well, entropy is just about substances being mixed homogeneously.
But it's also about high pressure going to low. Yes. Order to disorder. Yes. So, yeah, gravity is not the container. And actually, to have gas pressure, you have to have a physical.
What's wrong with gravity?
It has no effect on gas pressure. I mean, the thing is, what we're asking is, we got this pressurized air around the Earth next to, within a giant vacuum chamber. What is keeping the gas from dissipating into the vacuum in order to homogenize or equalize in accordance with the laws of entropy? What's keeping it from doing that? And if you say gravity, then we say, why doesn't it work on Earth? Why doesn't it contain, like, smoke in the car on Earth? You know, you can't have gravity as a container here and not as a container out in space. So gravity isn't the answer to the question is how we can have an pressurized air next to a giant vacuum. Why isn't it dissipating and equalizing?
So
answer the question.
You would say, okay. So if I let go of a helium balloon, there's going to be a level of stratification, in the atmosphere. So less dense things go up. Why doesn't that homogenize?
If it's contained in a balloon, how can it?
Okay, let's just say I release helium into the air.
No. Yeah, if you release helium, it's going to dissipate, isn't it?
Yeah. Why is it that we find a lot less dense gases higher up in the atmosphere, and why,
how do you have,
for that matter, is there less gas pressure and air pressure?
You're not even answering my question.
He's trying to now talk about pressure gradients when she's literally talking about gas pressure. You have to have gas pressure in the first place before you can even have a gradient. So.
Yeah, where does gas pressure happen in a vacuum?
Have a gradient. That's
I don't care.
Something we all agree on.
Yeah, but in order to even have the gradient, you got to have gas pressure. Okay.
And without walls, without a container, you cannot have pressure. It dissipates in all directions, doesn't care about gravity. How can the air around the Earth not dissipate into the giant vacuum of space?
So you think that if we did have gravity and we did live on a ball...
Answer! You're giving me a hypothetical as a distraction. Answer the question I just put to you very clearly.
Well, I apologize for,
Don't apologize.
Trying to expound. Well, let's ask the question again. Let's ask the question again.
Okay, one more time. There's air all around the Earth, right? It's under pressure. It is supposedly inside a giant vacuum and there's no container. How do we still have any pressure at all?
I think you know what my answer is going to be.
Explain how. I don't care what you. I'm not going to guess what your answer is. Explain how this is possible.
Okay. Well, in case you don't know what my answer is going to be, I will state it. Gravity, the energy that is produced by these particles that cause them to homogenize, is not sufficient to override the power of gravity, keeping stuff down.
So you say gravity is a container?
No, it's not what I said.
So this is my favorite part.
Yeah,
this is where the argument gets to be my favorite part. So you're saying that the gas, like you just said, the gas is able to surpass the strength of gravity. But the best
No,
part
I said it's not to an infinite degree.
Okay, but where it's the strongest, what's the strongest point of gravity, which is the center of the earth, as it's leaving the center of the earth, as it's leaving the strongest part, or the strongest influence of gravity, and it's going up, and then it's now experiencing the weakest amount of gravity, it somehow stops. And now is effective.
Do you know why things go up?
Answer the question.
Right, yeah. Yep.
Do you know why things go up?
Yeah, but let's
answer the question.
Yeah, I'm not talking about why things go up
this
yet.
Does
I'm talking
this
about
does have to go both ways.
Why does it?
No.
This shouldn't be an interrogation.
Answer the question.
No, it's an interrogation because
please restate the question.
You're being like annoying.
We stated it like 50 times.
My apologies. That wasn't my intention. I hope you see it from my perspective. I only know what I know. There's things that I don't know.
And your knowledge is limited.
And then there's things that...
Your knowledge is limited, so be respectful when people are talking to you and actually have an open mind about this information you're
tried
for the
very
first
hardly
time.
to be respectable.
Okay, but listen. There's laws of physics. They're called laws for a reason. You can't violate them.
Yep.
All right?
Yep.
Law of entropy.
One of them is gravity.
No, gravity. I'm not talking about gravity right now. I'm talking about entropy. When you have pressurized gas, and then you let it out into a vacuum. What's the white noise? When you have pressurized gas and you let it out into a vacuum, there's nothing that stops the gas from dissipating into the vacuum, especially when you have a tiny amount compared to a giant vacuum. You're not going to have air pressure anymore. Okay? There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no
I'm going to explain why things would go up if you'd like.
No, did you even listen to what I just said?
No, I did. I can even restate it.
No, you didn't.
No, you
can't. You started talking about why things go up.
I'm talking about why things go away from gravity, why they go away in an uncontained air pressure into a giant vacuum.
In other words, going up.
Not up, away.
No, you're right. It's accurate. Not up is relative. If we're on a globe, there isn't an up.
Okay,
yeah,
so the air is going away from the Earth because there's a giant vacuum and it's trying to equalize, right?
No, the different gases go up, and the less dense gases will go or be further away because the more dense gases have a higher gravitational pull towards the gravity.
On Earth, on the surface, where the gravity is supposedly the strongest, gases go in every direction. When you don't have them in a container, they dissipate, and you don't have pressure anymore.
Mm-hmm.
When it's strongest.
So you're saying everything should go from a high pressure system to a low pressure system, right?
Yes, that's a law of physics. It's a law of entropy.
How come water doesn't go into the atmosphere?
We're talking about gases.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
No, it is not the same thing. Not the same thing. Gas is not water.
No,
it is not the same principle.
You're saying that everything should move into a low pressure system just by the very nature that it's adjacent.
We're talking about gas laws here. We're talking about air around the Earth. Gas laws, physics that doesn't change. Okay? So when you have pressure, gas
you'd be
under
surprised
pressure,
how similar gas and water are.
No, they're liquids and solids, and gases are three different states of matter. They don't have the same properties.
You're right, and we can throw plasma in there. That's also a different state.
Yeah, whatever.
A shot of gas. When I go to a bar, they give me a shot
Why?
of gas.
Don't go into other things. Just stick to what they're talking about.
I'll do my best.
Did I cut out? Oh.
No, I heard you.
No, we heard
for
you.
a second. Okay. Yeah, so go ahead. Gas pressure.
Yeah, explain how it is that the Earth is covered with air under pressure, why it hasn't dissipated long ago into the vast vacuum of space. Gas laws. Explain that.
Because mass attracts mass. Now, different things of different densities have, different masses. So
why doesn't that work? Why doesn't that work on Earth? Can I have gas without a container on the surface of the Earth because of gravity or different masses? Mass attracting mass? What mass is attracting smoke upwards?
Now, what's a dense gas? Something that's denser than the average air?
You didn't even answer me. I asked you a simple question. And the thing is that the mass attracts mass was debunked 100 years ago. According to Einstein and modern physics, Newtonian gravity isn't right. It doesn't work. It's not true. Mass does not attract mass. They gave that up 100 years ago.
You do know that Newtonian gravity isn't a term. You know the difference between a law and a theory. Law is about an observation. There's no postulation to explain. No, I'm not. I'm explaining the differentiation.
No, you're not.
They're not two different types of gravity. It is an observation that mass does attract mass.
One superseded the other.
Newton's law does not claim to explain the phenomenon. Einstein's general theory and relativity.
You said mass attracts mass. That's Newtonian. It is not true. The so-called, I don't agree with this one either, but the theory now for last 100 years is the bending of space-time. Okay? It is not mass attracts mass. You said mass attracts mass. That is not true. Even in your quote-unquote model, it's not true. They gave that up 100 years ago. It is superseded, not both and.
Theory is about explanation.
Did you hear what I just said?
I did. I heard what you said. You said that the theory of relativity, generals.
Look at the chat.
The general theory of relativity supersedes that of Newton's laws of physics. It's odd that you'll cite other laws of physics, but not that one.
No, I am always citing laws of physics, actual laws. Okay, you're giving an outdated law. Look, listen, let me finish. Look in the chat at 6:12, 12 minutes after the hour about superseded. And the thing is that you said mass attracts mass.
What is it that you want me to look at?
Look at the chat.
I just posted
the live stream voice chat.
A lot of people put stuff in there. It gets buried.
I gave you the timestamp. 12 minutes after the hour.
I'll repost it. There you go. I just reposted it.
You should read it out loud.
Yeah, read it out loud,
Clearly
please.
has a hard time retaining information.
Read it out loud, please. We can't hear you.
Why don't you read it out loud?
You read it out loud. We cannot hear you.
I'm not your monkey.
Well, then go away. I want my own monkey. I was promised a monkey. No, we asked you very nicely to read it out loud to make sure that you have read it. So why don't you read it?
If Mr.
It's all right. He doesn't want.
Again, it's buried again. It's buried again.
You could scroll up, dude.
Just read it. Just read it. It's not that far away.
You can go ahead and read it if you want.
Go ahead and read it.
Listen, I don't think he's gonna read it. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, if he's not gonna read, can I ask another question?
And I'll read it.
Oh, all right.
For the third time?
Conversation to progress.
Look, if you're wanting to make a point, I might recommend you read it.
No,
right.
you need to read it.
I'm gonna mute you, and then we'll talk to Aviate, whatever. I'll post it again so you can read it.
Awesome. So is it the sleepwalk thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, cool. So I'll read it for the class, just so the conversation can progress. So Newton's classical mechanics were superseded in the early 20th century when Albert Einstein developed the special and general theory of relativity. And then it's a quote, I'm assuming. Oh, that's a quote from Wikipedia of History of Gravitational Theory. And then quoted from libertex.org, the quote is, Newton's two crowning achievements, the law of motion and the law of gravitation, that had reigned supreme since published in the Principia in 1687, were toppled from the throne by Einstein. And that's from Douglas Klein.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Enjoy your conversation.
And
we like to talk to you, though. We want to talk to you.
Can you kick Femboy? He has a very vulgar icon. He needs to be kicked out. The rainbow thing.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I was going to say, was it some lips?
What? I'm sorry?
Ooh, I didn't
Was
see
his
it.
icon, was it some lips or something?
No. Female genitalia. So, not having that.
Shit.
I got another question, please. I gotta go to bed soon as well. It's already 12:16 a.m. Can I ask another question?
Sure.
Okay. Why is it that when the sun is, for instance, let's look at a piece of paper now, and you got 30, let's say 20, 10, and 0, and the sun is at 20, the moon is at 10, and the Earth is at 0, and the moon orbits the Earth, and we orbit the sun, blah blah blah. Why does the sun not pull the moon away from the Earth even a little bit when it gets between the Earth and the sun? If there's that heavy gravitational pull, but nothing happens when the moon's on the other side, like it's always in the same orbit, and the sun has got such a heavy gravitational pull. Why does it not pull away on the heliocentric model? Yeah, that's my question. Does that make sense? What I asked?
Yep. Well,
Yeah, so why
because the moon doesn't like the sun as much as it likes the Earth.
No, no. Honest answer. I'm trying to learn because
you're gonna have to ask a Glober that, because I don't believe in all that.
So I'm asking this dude what's his name? Who was the guy that had all the answers now?
FVT or Avate? I don't know.
I don't have any answers. I just read the thing that the other guy wouldn't read because I wanted the conversation to go on.
Right.
We like you, though. We want to talk to you.
Well, I would like to say that my knowledge of science is very limited. I probably don't have I couldn't answer that. I don't have the slightest clue.
Okay, so you don't have an answer. So don't you think it's ridiculous that nothing's actually happening? So this is why I'm going to the flat Earth side, because it's just ridiculous that nothing happens. Dude, I'm learning.
I don't know.
I'm new here, and it's just small little questions like this is making me realize, like, holy fuck, we don't live what we actually live in.
Sure, maybe. I don't know. I think it's a fun conversation. I think it's interesting. I think I'm going to learn a lot about science here. But I don't know much about science right now, so I can't be the globe guy that we all debate right now. I just find have you guys ever heard of the theory of post-truth?
No.
So the theory of post-truth posits that people will choose truths to believe in. And I feel like maybe it's going to get too difficult for us to decide between misinformation that the internet's creating for us to know what's really, really true or not, right? That we don't have the correct tools to examine the universe. And we do, probably for the shape of the Earth, that's probably out there, but I don't think that's very interesting. I think the idea that how you guys have come to the conclusions of Flat Earth and every other like thing that's connected to it, I find fascinating. And that's why I joined the server, just to talk about everything else about that. But like, I don't know a lot about science, so I'm probably not the most interesting science guy to talk to.
Cool. All right. Well, there's no other globe here that can maybe help me out here. Because, yeah, this is just shit that I've been taught in school, and I'm trying to figure this out now. Because obviously this whole thing came up in 2012. It's probably been before that, but it was a massive hit in 2012, and I'm completely fascinated. And, yeah, I'm going to use a pun of words here, but I'm gravitated to Flat Earth because it just makes way more sense, dude.
Yeah, well... Sorry, go ahead.
No, you can go.
No, you're our
glober.
Glober, so yeah. Go ahead.
I have to defend the whole globe. I don't know, dude. Whenever like we were talking about it a couple hours ago, at the start of my day, and then I went to work and now I'm back. But a couple hours ago, when I was last in here, and I recognize a couple of people. Like for instance, I think I was talking to Get Beget. I was mentioning that I don't know. I don't have he made the 3 proposits of curvature, which I don't know. That seems very nuanced. I feel like I'd have to get some exact measuring tools. I'd have to get something that I felt was accurate enough to measure the shape of the Earth, and I'm not sure what that would be. And as far as like the Earth's spin, that doesn't make the slightest sense to me. I feel like inertia and gravity have to be fighting really hard there. That doesn't make any sense. It'd be fun to learn about
that 1.3 million miles per hour going up one direction and 66,000 miles another direction and 500,000 miles another direction. It makes zero sense. And only as an adult, now I'm 35 years old, have I actually listened to what the heliocentric model is. And as an adult, I realized, damn, this is stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
So, and what was the third one? So it was the shape, the spin,
gas pressure,
the vacuum,
gas pressure. And that just kind of reminds me of like my favorite experiments back in middle school. We did like water displacement and stuff. I feel like it could be a density or a buoyancy thing. And I think that would have to be the answer on either model, right? Either model should be explained. Like we should be able to explain it through probably either of those functions. So I don't know. I think they're interesting, and I have to do more research.
Yeah, they traveled the world on a flat map in the past, and they're doing it now on a globe. I'm sure their maps were perfectly fine then, and they're just projecting it over a globe now. That's what I'm feeling and theorizing now as I'm getting into this, to make sense of both worlds.
Yeah.
I
mean, shit, that's the fun way to explore it, right? It's just to follow a map.
Yeah, like, it's a map around a ball. I could put a piece of paper around a ball. It might be a little bit off, but it'll still work.
Yeah.
So yeah, I joined today like 6-7 hours ago. I've still been here. I don't know how I've been here for so long. Listen to that other dude rant about his curvature for 3 hours. We got nowhere, but it's my first day here today. I learned a lot, and I didn't learn that much, but I listened a lot, and yeah, I'm glad to be here, and I'll be here more often. I had fun today.
I had a lot of fun earlier today. I was talking to V, or what's his name? His name's all cursive. Vlad. And listening. I don't know if I'm allowed to say Jews. He said Jews. I don't want to get you guys in trouble, right? But
Juice, as in like a juice box?
no, as in like the people.
Jew.
That's fine. But you can't say juice box here.
Oh, okay. I'll make sure to talk about other containers that I carry the liquids for my fruit in. There we go. Nailed it.
Yeah, man. Where do you live?
He's crazy. I hope you get some help. But I don't know. Just like he needs some friends. Be nice to him. I'm just kind of interested in like everything else connected to the flat Earth, you know? Like, so once we presuppose, sure, the Earth is flat, now what? Why are they lying to us? What's the benefit of them lying to us? All of that, that's fascinating to me, because that's already kind of some stuff that I think is fun to talk about.
Oh yeah, I can get involved on that side because I understand why they would do it because of my upbringing. I'm South African, so we got a very religious background this side. It doesn't matter if you're Christian, Roman Catholic. It actually all boils down to almost the same thing. Yes, they're both obscured in their own ways, but they basically go do the same thing. And I do believe it's got to do with that. They're masking a lot of that stuff.
Where in South Africa are you?
I'm in Cape Town, Bloubergstrand.
Bloubergstrand. Okay.
Ja, ek het gedink jy klink 'n bietjie Suid-Afrikaans. Sorry, we spoke a bit Afrikaans there. I thought you sounded a bit Afrikaans, yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, this is Sophia. Sorry, someone else sounded. I think it was Ariel sounded a bit Afrikaans. Okay, that was Sophia that spoke. Okay, where about are you, Sophia?
Bloemfontein.
Okay, up north. Nice. All right, sorry guys, we got my second South African in with us here.
There's a cool black swan. There's a cool black swan that you can go and photograph for us. If you go to Dustin Island, you can see Table Mountain from there.
So you are South African. I thought so.
Yeah,
you sounded a bit.
I just checked the distance from Dustin Island to Table Mountain.
Yeah. Yes, I did that. Yeah. I brought that up today. I brought from Eysterfontein to Table Mountain, and you see Table Mountain perfectly fine.
But I don't know how people get to travel to Dustin Island. I don't even know.
I've got a contact for that. I know someone who lives on Dustin Island.
There's a cool lighthouse on that island as well.
Yeah, I know someone who lives on it.
Over that distance, once again, missing the curve.
Yep, 100%. Perfect. That's what I DM'd a few guys. They didn't post it. But 100%. You can see Table Mountain. There's no obscurity. You can even see it on Google Maps. And there should be 300 meters or 286 meters on Google Maps. And this is a basic camera. And you can see the full Table Mountain. This is not even with a high zoom camera. And you can see the whole damn thing.
I use Google Maps to plot the distance.
Yeah, 67 kilometers.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Welcome to Flat Earth. I consider myself still new here.
Yeah, same here. It's my first day here.
I found some rather alarming things last year.
Nice.
And I did some research, and I came to the conclusion that we are being deceived. So I found this Discord, and I have learned so much ever since. I mean, I only had like maybe a third of the picture. I have learned so much since then. So it's cool to have you.
Yeah, so the way I got into it is about 2 or 3 years ago, and the first few months I mentioned it to my best friend, and he totally disowned me, and I lost one of my closest friends just for mentioning it to him. And I was so scared to ever mention it again. I kept it to myself. And through my life, I just carried on as normal. But I always had the feeling like, yes, Earth could be flat. And then I had a calling about a month or two ago. And I just started looking into it again. And then I started finding David Weiss's videos. And he convinced me completely. Just his videos, his evidence, his proof, his explanations just made me realize we don't live in a spinning ball. So I'm not saying that the Earth is flat until I buy myself a P900 or a P1000 to prove it for myself. So I'll just say I'm a believer in flat Earth. Oh, wait, someone's got heavy static. Just mute this dude.
Limmer.
There we go. So until I prove it to myself, I just started a business in February, so I'm a bit stingy with my money at the moment. But as soon as everything stabilizes, I'm going to buy myself a nice, decent super zoom camera, and I'll prove it to myself that I can say I know the Earth is flat, and I don't have to say I believe the Earth is flat. But at this current moment, I believe the Earth is flat, and I don't believe that we'll go on a spinning ball.
All you got to do is go to the coast and just look out over the ocean, because people always think that you should see the cove straight ahead, but you should also see it from left to right. And
that's what I also realized.
It just ain't there.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I would love to measure it. I would love to have the whole worldwide scientific evidence proof why. So I want to prove it to myself that way. So at the moment, I'm full on. I'm totally on FE side, flat Earth side, but I would like to prove it to myself as well. So yeah, that's why I'm here. And I don't know who brought me here. Actually, someone brought me to this Discord, and I'm here now.
Well, it's cool. I heard you remark earlier that people spent like 3 hours on a conversation with one guy. That frequently happens here because we don't want you to believe anything. So we will take you through every single issue that you raise, every question that you have. Do all the research, gather all the facts that you want and bring them. That's what we do here.
Yeah, nice. Awesome. That's why I've been here for like 7-8 hours already.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you're not going to find a better place to learn.
Yeah. No, I agree. And Google's going to just give you crap. I'm sorry. I've tried to. I remember Googling back in the day. I had way better stuff to read. Now it's just crap. So I actually bought David's app, and I enjoy watching his videos and going through his content that he has. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that.
Yeah, you're advised to download stuff that you like as well, because we don't know what's going on with the internet.
Yeah.
Things keep disappearing for no apparent reason. Because we all know that the Earth is like not flat. Why is it even an issue? If we are just lunatics sitting here talking about something that couldn't possibly be real, then why are they so hell bent on removing this topic from in front of everyone?
Yeah, and what I find ironic, which I brought up earlier today, is that they always say it's the uneducated that will believe in the flat Earth, or the uneducated that this and that. And I'm educated. I'm a qualified IT engineer. I've got project management behind my name, and I studied business management. I'm pretty qualified, pretty educated, and I see through their bullshit. So yeah.
Yeah, the good thing is that you don't need degrees to be able to grasp this.
Yeah. And us as South Africans, we've been brought up in a very religious country, very Christian. So I think we're pretty humble people in South Africa. So yeah, we're not too indoctrinated yet, luckily.
What will you say, Sophia?
I'm not completely in agreement with that one.
Nah, I don't know.
If I look around me, I see a lot of sheep.
Okay, but if I'm asked, how old are you now?
32.
So you're my generation. I'm 35. Come on, we still had Bible class. Don't you remember what do you call it? Grade 12? No, in school. I was in Fairmont. Yeah, we had Bible classes and all that.
Kasasi.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, I was brought up very Christian. Okay, I don't go to church. We did a little bit of Sondag school.
I agree. The people in South Africa can tend to be quite conservative.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have the full exposure that. I mean, I live in Europe now, and I know it's a total culture shock. You never know, what you you can't think what it is to live in the West. It is worlds apart.
Yeah, it's first world countries. You guys, you guys have Hollywood or whatever. You got your movie stars. You got everyone's got YouTube, and everyone's aware of YouTube. In South Africa, not even a tenth of the population watch YouTube. Not even a fifth of the population watch YouTube. You know what I mean? It's just that we just, they watch Seven Delan and they do little stupid things, and it's a little boring country. It's only starting to wake up to the great stuff in life, or what the rest of the world are doing. So
careful with the first world.
What's that? Ooh, you're breaking up, dude.
Be careful of the first world, second world, third world analogies there. Be careful, because the first world isn't as good as you think it is. Yeah, the first world.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but what I mean is just you need to live here for at least 5 years to understand what I'm probably getting at. I got friends in the US, I got friends in Europe. It's just totally different to the way they look at life. You guys look at life. We look at it way differently. We're very closed up here, and we live behind bloody safety gates and burglar bars in our homes. We don't really get out as what we should. As beautiful as this country may be, as much as it sucks as well, because you don't get out. You can't get to live. Yeah. So you guys just see a lot more than what we do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's a far bigger rat race here.
Yeah. But I'm glad I woke up to this. So, like I said, I'm still learning, and I'm glad to be here, and I will be here more often.
Cool.
Well, glad to have you here. Welcome, and it is 24/7, so stop by anytime.
Yeah. I have to go to bed soon. I've got to wake up for golf in the next 5 hours. I play golf every Saturday with a good bunch of friends. So yeah, it's already 12:37. But I'll stick around for another few minutes.
Early.
Good luck. I hope you get a really low score.
Yeah, I play pretty good golf. I do play pretty good golf, so I should play right.
Yeah, what's your handicap?
It's currently I think it's a 5 or 6.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
I used to play.
You can get on the pro circuit any day soon.
I played on the Sunshine Tour for 2 years, in 2012 and 2013. Then I had an elbow injury, and I got a husky, and she pulls me on the skateboard, and blah blah blah. I fell, and they wanted to amputate my right elbow. So I got a second opinion, and 7 years later, my doctor said I could play golf again. So I'm playing again, and currently playing. I think it's a 5 or 6. I'm playing golf now. So yeah. I used to play golf for a living for a bit.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, I enjoy it, but it's more hobby now because I've got the metal joint in my elbow. It does hinder it a bit, so I play it as a hobby. So I play every Saturday now with good friends of mine.
Oh, Brill, nice talking to you.
Yeah, thank you. I'll still stick around for a few more minutes. Yeah, what you guys got to say, and I'll just silently hop out of here and see you guys next time.
There's quite a few other people in here that we haven't spoken to.
Yeah. Yeah, I can go through. Do you guys notice anybody new? Sorry, fumbling over my words.
Hi, Becky. Becky hopped in.
Oh, yes. Hello, Becky.
Hey, guys. How's everybody?
Good, and you?
Good, thanks, Dal.
Hi, Becky. How's it there in Upside Down, Australia?
Yeah, it's beautiful this morning in Upside Down, Australia. But believe it or not, I am the right way up.
You got a bit of a head rush?
This guy said to me yesterday, you got to be some special kind of stupid to be a flat earther in Australia. I said, that's interesting because Australia is the flattest inhabited continent in the world. So I don't see why I'd have to be some kind of special kind of stupid when I'm living on a plane. And then I said, I guess you guys think it's a potato Earth. And then he got offended with that.
Which way does like the water spin when you flush it?
Exactly. The same way it spins where you flush it, darling.
Oh,
Same
cool.
way. Yeah, we've done all this before.
I've
I've literally flushed my toilet before to test it.
You've like flushed your toilet on like stream or something? That's cool.
No, I didn't do it on stream, but I would have done it here probably a couple of years ago now when all this went down and we were checking, like literally checking. Yeah, let's flush together, says Justin.
That's funny.
I know, believe it or not, it's not a conspiracy. I have flushed my toilet before.
I've joked about it with Australians in the past, but I feel like given my current location, it's probably a funnier thing to talk about.
It is. So are you in Canada?
No, I'm in California.
California.
Although I lived in New York, and people asked me if I was from Canada, so I don't know what that's about.
I just think you've got a slightly, like your accent could be Canadian.
Uh-huh.
That's why. But I was wrong.
Well, I lived in upstate. I lived on like the border of Canada for a long time, so you could be picking that up.
Maybe. Jeez. I wonder. So what's the new talk in the flat earth community? Is there anything new, guys? Or is it still this rock solid evidence that we always stand on?
It's still very flat.
Still flat.
Yes. I was sitting with my dad yesterday and he had the television news on and there was this big NASA program. I don't know what they're doing, but it was in the mainstream news and I just thought to myself, wow, no wonder the world believes it. Put it in mainstream news and enough money and you can do anything.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
Yeah, a little bit of cash and a little bit of propaganda and the globe's in business.
Propaganda machine is huge in this day and age.
Oh, yeah, that gentleman that was saying about the Google search before, he's so right. Google's just been saturated with just nonsense. It's just hard to find anything anymore.
Yeah, that was me.
Last few years. Yeah, it's terrible.
That's rough.
It is rough.
So that's why I actually downloaded David's app just in case I lose a YouTube channel or something that I know that he'll eventually start a new channel and put it up to his app just to get some new information or re-uploads.
Yep. And then you hang around these kind of communities and people find information on alternate websites that aren't YouTube and you get your information that way. If I want serious information that I know is detrimental to the government or to the general narrative, I do not use YouTube anymore. I use different sources because YouTube's just, for fun these days. If you want to watch, some reality TV or some crazy cat videos to cheer you up.
Yeah, I don't even get proper suggestions anymore. Like if I subscribe to a random person, my wife subscribes on the TV, and then all of a sudden I got all these random suggestions on my page because now we go onto the TV with my account, and then I got all these random suggestions. I subscribe to David, I subscribe to whoever, Globebusters, whatever. Just giving examples here, and I never get suggestions of their videos, never. But I got all her nonsense crap, Kardashian shit that she watches.
Yeah,
I get all those suggestions. It's come on, man. Give me. I want something new.
In the Flat Earth circles, you find there's a lot of censorship. There's massive censorship in the Christian circles right now. A lot of my Christian friends that have YouTube accounts have all got warning strikes recently, and that's us. And I get them all the time. I'm banned from uploading until August on YouTube. So I've been caught that many times. But that's just me talking about, things like our beliefs and how the Bible, looks like the things going on in the world could marry up to current events and bam, there's a ban. I mean, it's crazy.
It's ridiculous. But yeah,
absolutely
so-
is.
But I'm glad I bought his app. It's also to support the guy. He built that app himself.
Oh, good on him.
He does need the money, but I don't. They say that you can email him and ask him for a free copy. Damn, the thing was so damn cheap. 40 rand. It's probably what, $3 Australian. Just give the guy a bit of bucks. It goes and buys him a few beers.
Yeah, exactly, for his efforts.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, that's
Thanks-
good
And
thing
you-
to do.
Yeah, you email him, he responds to you. You have a question, he responds to you. So I'm happy to support the dude.
Thanks again for my Javianas, Becky.
Oh, sweetie, that's my pleasure. I'm glad that you got them. They're the hot flip flops in Australia. Everybody's got Havianas.
I love them. I'm a flip flop and boot. It's kind of a strange thing, but I love my boots and I love my flip.
Yeah, well, you need flip flops on a flat Earth.
Oh, and by the way, I used to hunt, and I never used Coriolis effect. I never needed that shit when I was hunting.
Yeah, I don't either to this day. We homestead, so
I never even knew about it until the whole flat Earth thing came into my life. I never even knew about it.
I'm sorry. I used to be a scope smith, so every once in a while the Marines, the local Marines, would invite us to come out because they want to butter you up because they want to get a discount on a really expensive scope. So they call us out to go take 50 cal 1,000-yard shots. And if you factor that in, I mean that's a lot of curvature in that space of time. You don't aim. You don't. We're talking about mile-long shots with a 50 cal. It's just a straight shot.
Yeah, dude, just any distance. The Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. It's ridiculous.
I mean, it's amazing. You take the shot and you hear the boom. Wait, then you're nothing. Seriously, like 10 seconds later, ding.
Oh yeah, those long shots. Yeah, you do that with you can probably do that with a 270 about 500 meters, and a 220 maybe a little bit further. What, a 22.22? You can shoot a bit further. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's just a while before you actually the shot actually hit whatever you're aiming at. But a 50 cal, that's something I've never shot. The biggest I've shot is a 375.
My boss used to have a custom made. It was all aluminum, and it was bare aluminum, just polished aluminum. It was just the trippiest looking, lightest weight gun you've ever seen.
Oh wow!
The barrel had to have been lined with steel because the bullet would tear the aluminum.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There were
sorry, fellas. Not to get too far from the plane topic. I have something to read from what Elijah posted. It's about the West Siberian Plain in Russia, Zapando-Zibrovskaya Ravnina, one of the world's largest regions of the continuous flatland central Russia. It occupies an area of nearly 1.2 million square miles. That's 3 million square kilometers between the Ural Mountains in the west and the Yenisei River Valley in the east. It is one of the largest regions. On the north, the West Siberian Plain is bounded by the Kara Sea, and in the south, it is by the Torgay Plateau, the Kazkan, and the Altai Mountain. The plain is drained by the hold on, these too many Russian names. It is a region of the Earth's crust that has undergone prolonged subsidence and is composed of horizontal deposits from as much as 65 million years, blah, blah, blah. Glacial deposits extend as far as south as the Ob confluence, forming occasional low hills and ridges, but otherwise the plain is exceedingly flat and featureless and has very poor drainage. And then the other one says occupying slightly more than 1/3 of the terrestrial surface. Plains are found on all continents except Antarctica. Yeah. So that's very interesting. Thank you for that, Elijah. Yeah, so I mean, there's a whole bunch of... Yeah, because you mentioned, Becky, like you live on one of the flattest continents, so it's like there's a whole bunch of these all around the world.
I live on the flat. I live on the
yet,
Cumberland. I live on the Cumberland Plain, but that's just one plain of Australia. There, I've just put in the text chat an article from the government of all the plains and penny plains of Australia with all the measurements. So if anyone's interested in doing that and having a look at the measurements, you could probably prove flat Earth just from that document.
Yep, exactly. Like, how many flat planes do you need to make a ball?
7.
Well, that's why I said to them, then it can't be a ball. It has to be something like a potato. Because if you factor in Australia, we are not part of the ball. We're part of the potato, the flat side, the flat plains. So if they want to believe in a ball, they've got to believe in a potato instead or something of that nature.
Asinine.
Okay. Matthew's here. Hi, Matthew.
Hello.
Bonjour.
Oh, you was here early on.
Yeah, I just saw your response. Of course, the Australian government means curved at the same elevation around the globe when they say level.
Yeah, when people say the oceans are level, the plains are level, that's what they mean, like gravitationally equipotential. So
that's not what they mean.
That's what they mean. It might not be what flat earthers mean, but so there's a difference in definition there.
Yeah, I don't understand what you're saying. Sorry. A plane is plane.
Yeah, I'm saying the Australian government doesn't believe the Earth is flat, is what I'm saying.
Can I interrupt to say, can you also read the definition?
You're kidding me.
Which I also
No, they know it's flat.
Thank you. Because we have a definition of plane, so if you're going to say that it's defined another way, you're going to have to provide a citation because plane is already defined, it's already taken.
What's with this contrary?
Yeah, but I think it's funny that you think that I would assume that the Australian government thinks that the Earth is flat because my government pays millions of bucks a year in propaganda. We've got our own space station now. I mean, agency, Australian Space Agency, ASA.
Go
Aussies.
Yeah. I just noticed that you quoted the Australian government in the...
to get our measurements, it's Australian Bureau of Statistics. Maybe click on the article and have a little look.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need to have a disagreement about some measurements. I'm giving measurements in that article for people that want to look. It's the Bureau of Statistics. Have a look instead of just changing the definition of plane and thinking that I would somehow assume Australian government would claim a flat Earth. That's crazy.
No, I said the opposite, that they're not claiming a flat Earth.
Obviously, what government would? Why would you even say that?
Yeah, so therefore, when they say level, they mean something different because they're not.
No, they don't. No, they don't. A plane is a plane, and the definition of plane means the same in Australia as it does anywhere else.
Check. Sorry.
Yeah, so Elijah posted the definition of a plane, just in case we have a confusion there. It means a flat surface on which a straight line joining any 2 points on it would wholly lie. A level of existent thought or development. So, which definition of plane? Yeah.
The Freemasons are so arrogant. They don't think that anyone is capable of breaking the brainwashing. But yeah, here we are.
Oh, I see. Yeah, no, Elijah, that's a plane, Plane. They're talking about the geographical feature called plane, Plain.
Hey, contrarian boy. Shh.
Okay. Will do.
I think I'm still in the best seat to get both sides, to hear both sides with an open mind. And I just get fed evidence and
It says
A plain is a large PLAIN is large flat land with trees. Okay, so a plain is a plain, and if I don't understand why you would try and change the definition of it.
I do.
It also says, it says in the Encyclopedia Britannica that these flat and level areas, savannas, desert, they occupy slightly more than 1/3 of the terrestrial surface. I mean, that's a lot of surface area for you to come in. For you to come in here and claim that these places do not exist is a bit far-fetched.
The other thing is only 30%. Hang on. Sorry,
my bad.
No, go
Yeah.
I posted the
Go ahead,
definition for PLAIN. Matthew, please respond. Thank you.
Also, as that lovely lady just pointed out, the land mass that we have is only 30% of the surface of the Earth, supposedly. So if that's the amount of plains on the size of this dry land, doesn't that really tell you guys something of the nature of where we are?
Okay, so hold on. Matthew, you're saying by flat land they mean land that is at the same elevation.
Yeah, obviously that's what flat means in geography. Same
is it Sophia that's meaning?
No, there are undulations. Don't be so disingenuous.
Okay, so yeah, there are undulations, but mostly the same elevation. I mean, that's what sea level means, right? The same elevation, zero elevation, basically.
How can we have things at the same elevation if it's curving 8 inches per mile squared?
Oh, because elevation curves. The level of elevation curves.
I love these stories.
What?
Geez, you must be so enthusiastic.
How can it be at the same elevation if the elevation is curving?
It's gravitationally equipotential. That's how.
What?
Because gravity.
Because the plank that he's walking is bent. It's made out of metal, and he's wearing boots that keep him to it while he's walking it.
No, look, I understand you guys don't agree with this, and I understand that you don't buy that definition. I'm just accurately relating.
Because level means level, it doesn't mean curve.
Just repeating how clever you are and how you've absorbed the propaganda.
I'm explaining I'm explaining the propaganda. Yeah.
You are. You're an incredibly intelligent person that explaining the propaganda like you believe it. Is it what you believe? Oh,
yes,
you do believe the propaganda?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's why you tried to change the definition of what a plane was. So you don't believe you're on potato Earth. You believe you're on spinning ball Earth.
I wasn't changing the definition. I was explaining to you the accurate definition of what people mean when they say that.
And it's not. And you can't speak on behalf of people because you don't know what people.
No, I can pretty much.
Okay, so you're part of the Australian government.
I'm familiar with what they think. Yes.
Oh, you know what they think. Wow.
Dude, why is this guy still allowed in here? It's my opinion.
You don't even know what you think, let alone somebody else.
Entertainment purposes.
Well, no. Okay, so Matthew has admitted that he's already conceded that it is a belief. That's why he's honest about that, at least. That's why he's still here. He's not like trying to con anybody into thinking that this is like a legitimate provable thing. He already conceded that this is a belief system that he has. Exactly. So he's just trying to defend a religion, and we're cool with that.
I'm not even trying to defend it. I'm just trying to describe what we believe accurately, so that you have
No, but everybody has we're posting the definitions for you, and you're still not agreeing with it, which is okay, but it is what it is. So
got it.
Yeah, I'm like Matthew, just the opposite. I also don't say the Earth is flat. I just believe it's flat. Only recently though, but I don't know it's flat. So
none of us know it
I'm okay with saying that I have a different definition
Yeah.
of plane and level than you do. That's fine.
That's okay. That's okay. We're in reality and you're in a dream state, and that's fine. You can be there. I
No, but
get it.
here's
I know how much you guys love the globe. I
Dude,
know how
I
much
was
you love
there.
space. I get it. I get it. I respect your belief.
cut
I was
out.
right
Thank
there
you.
with you, big guy.
Thank you.
I fought it for years. But
Ryan,
truth is
what
truth
tipped
and
you over the
facts are
edge?
facts. Truth, many truths, many facts, many observations.
The best part is,
So,
though, is when we die, we do get to find out who's right. That is
That's
the best
true.
part.
I think that's true.
No, but
Hopefully
you don't
not.
have
in
to
your
wait
belief,
until you die, though. Here's
in
the
his belief, he
thing, though. You
doesn't.
have reality. You have measurable, objective things that we can all agree on. But you fail to agree on because you first say it is a plane, PLAIN. Then when that's being presented to you, then you change to no, flatland means this. It's never gonna be to your satisfaction because you always have to bend backwards to make it fit into your worldview. But reality, like everybody, what we all experience is the same thing.
Got it.
Motionless plane.
The mental gymnastics with this guy, yeah, it's through the roof.
I was just trying to describe accurately what the answer you'd get if you talk to a professor of geography or a geologist.
You don't know that because every professor is different. What you're saying and suggesting here is there's some kind of hive mind that all think exactly the same thing. Now, if we're right and the whole world is being deceived, do you not think that there's professors out there that might actually know that this doesn't work and that isn't reality? I mean, I'm sorry, but you are not the authority on every single professor in the Australian government or in any government for that matter.
No, but I do understand what they say, and so I was just trying to explain the best I could.
And so what you're trying to say is that we don't understand what they say and that you're trying to change the definition of a plane, PLAIN. Yes, you are. And you're very relaxed about it too.
Yeah, I was trying to describe the difference between your definition of plane and my definition.
It's not my definition, it's the definition. There is only one definition, or there's several definitions, but the noun plane is flat land that has trees on it, okay? That's what it is. I mean, you can try and make it as complicated as you like, and you can try and change it and contort it and tell us that, scientific minds think differently to us, but we're all on the same place. We all get the same definition, and we all experience over here a flat and level plane, okay? In Australia, I'm sorry, that's just what it is. So you can have your potato Earth, but you sure as shit can't have a globe.
Sure, I can be okay with that definition of a flat land with trees on it. Of course, you and I are going to have a different definition of what flat means.
I didn't make that up, mate. That's just what it is.
What's the definition of flat, though? Like, how can you have your own definition of flat, Matthew?
I would call
my mind's
flat
spinning.
Something that has the same distance to the center of the globe. Something that has the same elevation.
That's your everyday definition.
How do you measure the center to the center of the Earth? How do you measure that?
Well, measuring is a whole different thing. I'm just talking about the definition. I recognize that your definition of flat means that flat is a perfectly straight line, right? Something flat.
How levels work, it's how plumb bobs work. But the thing is that when you say it's just parallel to the surface of a sphere, which is what you've been describing, is that you have to first presume a sphere, and you can't prove a sphere. Right? You can't measure it. You don't know the distance to the center, so how can you measure whether something is parallel to the surface if it's curved without first presuming that it's curved?
Yeah, I presume that it's curved. You're right.
All right.
So if you would like me to not use plane and level, do you have a suggestion for what word I could use to describe what I mean when I say the same distance from the center of the Earth?
Say the same distance.
Yeah, like I said, parallel to the surface of a sphere.
Okay.
According to your belief.
Okay, that's fair. I'm just saying that many people, when they say flat, when they say level, that's what they mean.
No, they don't.
Wow.
No,
really?
that nobody ever in my life have I ever met anybody when they tell me your table, when I tell them your table is flat, they're thinking of the distance from the center of whatever it is that they're looking at. Nobody ever. I've never met anybody that. Nobody thinks that when they're thinking of flat. Matthew, come on, don't be.
And
No, I'm talking about in the context of motions and planes.
I just vouched for you that you are honest.
Every builder, every construction worker you will ever meet, anyone in reality has the same definition for flat. You seem to be the only person that I've met that has changed the definition.
Maybe you should speak to some geologists and geography people, I guess. When we're talking about small scales, yes, right, we have the same thing.
No, I'm sorry, but a geologist, geography, anything like that, they're going to tell you that a flat plane is flat. You can go and look at articles, mainstream articles on Australia, and even NASA. Even NASA quotes publicly that Australia is extremely flat. So
what do you think they mean by that?
They mean flat. They mean flat plains. We have train lines that run in straight lines for hundreds of kilometers along the Nullarbor Plain. You can go out there and you can take whatever P900s. You can go out and do observations all over Australia. It's the flattest inhabited continent in the whole world. So my point that I was making before is, why would someone call an Australian flat earther stupid when we live on a flat plane?
Oh, that has to do with the southern stars and the way that
we're talking about the land, sweetheart, not the sky.
Yeah,
You're getting very confused, because I have a belief too. I'm different than the other flat earthers in here. I don't claim I know 100%. I believe 100% that the earth is flat, but I'm not going to get into a massive argument with you about that, because I will claim belief as well as you do. But your belief, I don't know what you're using for your belief, but what I use for my belief literally says the same thing as what I'm experiencing here in real life, real time.
What I
But your belief describes something different. Sorry, sweetie.
No, I'm so sorry to rumpus you. I just want to know, what word would we use then to describe a surface that isn't concaved or convexed, that is just absence of any indentation? What word would you use then?
Straight would be a better word.
Straight.
Flat and level and straight are all synonyms on the small scale, but when you're talking about oceans and plains, then you might have to distinguish.
What size does it change at?
Oh, I don't know, like the size of a building. If you're doing something larger than a building.
Okay, so that's
like a railroad.
So over 1,000 feet, we should not have level anymore. Is basically what you're saying.
Something like that. I mean, you can treat it as if it were level, because it won't make much difference. I mean, you'd have to build building a mile long before it would make 8 inches of difference, right?
We have buildings miles long.
I'm not familiar with that.
Try the auto plants.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna head out soon, or probably in the next 3 or 4 minutes. I just got one question. I don't know if you guys are aware of it. I found it 2 years ago when I was first researching this. Is a very old cyclopedia where they took the first picture from space, or they say from space towards Earth, or from above the Earth, and they took a photo of the Earth, and it's in the cyclopedia. And it was on a YouTube video. This chick opens up a encyclopedia, and there it's in this book. I cannot find that. Are you guys aware of it? You guys know what I'm talking about? Because I would love to see that again.
You mean the one where they're talking about the dome?
No, not the one that they're talking about, the dome. That they're opening and they read it. This is an actual image that they took. It's the first ever from above the Earth that they took of the Earth. It's a very interesting thing that I saw, and I cannot find that video anymore. And the reason why I found it so interesting then, when I started looking at this, is it looked completely different to the blue marble or whatever they've put together for us now. And that was an actual image that they took.
No, it wasn't the whole
image. No, it wasn't.
Nope.
It wasn't of the whole one. What I'm trying to say is, yeah. So it was an actual image, but it was put together. So they put it in blocks. So it wasn't the whole Earth. And when you put them all together, obviously it's not on a flat piece of paper, but for instance, of the whole of Africa on a flat piece of paper, then a whole of the United States on a flat piece of paper. And I found it extremely interesting because the size didn't match to the globe when you actually make it a globe. They didn't make it a globe in the encyclopedia, but when they took these images, obviously if it was a helium balloon, if it was an aeroplane, whatever the hell it was, they took actual images and they put these images together as if you're taking a photo of the beach, and you do a whole panoramic image, something like that. And it was just nice to see it.
They still do that. But I'm not familiar with which one you're talking about that they did back.
I found it once and I cannot find it again. And the reason why I say it's so awesome to see this is because this is a raw image. There's no it's not crystal clear. It's that old, almost like sepia look to it. It was awesome to see this because
they didn't have good cameras back then.
Yeah, it wasn't a good camera. It wasn't a full Earth. It was just little bits of Earth that they put together. And
anyway, the reason why that doesn't look the same is because it just made it up. If you think they can't make pictures up back then, you need to watch a movie.
All right. But I would love to see that encyclopedia again, because what I know now, I would like to compare to what I saw, because it's not that. It's not that. Oh, wait, it could be that.
You should probably know though that I think one of the first Earth pictures is actually just from a movie producer, Universal Pictures, and they just took an image from, not really an image, but they took their imagination of Saturn, and then they slowly transformed it into an Earth picture. So
no, it's not this one. It's not this one. It's an actual physical bunch of images. Some chick found it in some library. Very, very old.
You can try to go through the map section downstairs. Maybe you might be able to find it in there.
Yeah.
Not the map, sorry, the images or one of the information stuff. But I can't.
Everyone I've asked cannot tell me that they've seen it or found it, but I remember seeing this. It might be a Mandela effect, I don't know, but it was very cool to see. But this is also now what's the censorship that they're doing now?
It was a censorship they did that.
Oh, sorry. I just have a quick question for Matthew after you guys are done. I'm gonna
Is the question for me? Otherwise, I'm out here. I gotta go sleep.
No, it's for Matthew.
Okay, cool. Guys, I'm out here. It was really awesome meeting you all, and I'll definitely see you guys again.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, man. Take care.
All right, cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye.
I'm just curious, Matthew, can astronauts, while they're in space, see the stars?
Yes.
They can.
If it's dark enough, just like on Earth.
Okay. Because Neil Armstrong says you can't see any stars. They said on the Apollo mission, after they land, they can't see any stars. So why do you disagree with...
It's not dark enough.
Nothing to do with the... So you can or you can't?
You can if it's dark enough. They landed on the light side of the moon, so they couldn't see the stars because it wasn't dark enough.
So
where's all the light?
From the ground. What do you mean?
You're saying when they're not facing the sun, they can't see the stars?
No. If they're in that environment, they can't see the stars because the surroundings are too bright.
So please be specific when they can see the stars.
When it's dark enough.
So what do you mean? When it's dark enough?
When they're in an environment that can be dark. I mean, I don't know, like when they're on the dark side of the moon, or when they're in transit or something, or when we're on the dark side of the Earth. Because the stars are
they say specifically that you cannot see the stars. The star is a deep black, even in cislunar space, which is the space between the Earth and the Moon. You cannot see the stars. Now, the astronauts contradict themselves completely, because some of them say that you can see the stars only when they're not facing the sun. Some of them say you can see the stars all the time, even during the daylight. That's Don Pettit saying that. And then you have Neil Armstrong saying that they never saw any stars. They don't recall seeing any stars at all.
Yeah, so all those, so it's different situations. You know how your eyes adjust to the light or dark situations? You'd have to like be in a dark room or a dark space for a long time for your eyes to adjust enough so that you can see dim objects. If you look into a bright, into the bright sun or into the bright day or that type of thing, then your eyes don't see dim objects very well. So you kind of have to let your eyes adjust. It's also the surroundings, kind of like I live in a big city, so it's hard to see any stars even at night because the surrounding city lights light up the air, so it's hard to see anything except the brightest ones.
These are called ad hoc.
Navigate from the moon.
These are called ad hoc explanations. You're just making stuff up as you go because you don't really know. You're just saying, well, this could be. It could be that their eyes didn't adjust, no matter if they've been up there for like a week or a year. Somehow they can't see the stars, or they can, depending on who you ask. I mean,
no. I'm just talking about I'm talking about how eyes work. Your pupils dilate.
Yeah, we know that.
Okay,
but I'm saying you don't know that that's the reason some of them couldn't see the stars and others could. You don't know that. You're just making stories up.
Yes, I'm making stories up to try to explain the phenomenon.
And that's making up stories is not an explanation.
If I just want like a story, I'll ask like a 3-year-old.
Yeah, that's not an explanation.
Yes, but you guys considered me as smart as a 3-year-old, so you did ask a 3-year-old in your view, right?
No, see,
well, I just wanted to
you didn't want a story?
You need evidence. You need testimonies from them saying my eyes were or were not adjusted. You're just making up stories. I mean, that is not an explanation.
It's a explanation of how it could be.
No, so an explanation of how it could be is a story.
Yes.
It's not an explanation.
Could be a big tarp. Could be a big tarp over the moon when they're actually on it, and that's why they can't see them either. But it only filters out stars.
No, I'm just I'm talking about the difference between explaining how things could be as an explanation of why it doesn't invalidate something versus trying to explain it.
Not good enough, making up shit.
It would be just as valid if I said the moon is made of green cheese and you can't prove me wrong, and it could be possible. We don't know. And I could make up that story and it would be just as valid.
And you said very declaratively, no stars can be seen. Not if your eyes adjust long enough, which I think that they would have spent. They were there a couple days.
Yeah, it never got dark there. It was daytime the whole time they were there for a couple days, because the day on the moon is
sky is a deep black. No stars can be seen from. Not even when he's not even in the. Where there's 3 of them. This is a one-on-one interview with him. No stars can be seen in space or on the moon. No stars can be seen on the moon. No stars can be seen in cislunar space.
From the ISS, if you're on the side away from the sun, you should have no problem adjusting, and the stars should be obvious because there's no distortion, there's no interference. Yeah, but they said they could never see them, so you need to back up your claim.
I think they do see them on the ISS because they do spend quite a bit of time in the dark.
I thought you said they never saw you didn't see the stars.
You were talking about the people who went to the moon. When they were on the moon, they didn't see them, but the ISS they can. I think there's some pictures of them too.
How does that make any sense if you're further away from?
Yeah.
You're further out in space. Now you're surrounded by more nothingness.
Yeah, but you're in
more
the sunlight.
Darkness.
No, you're in the sunlight. Like the ISS at nighttime, they go behind the shadow of the whole Earth, so it gets very dark.
Okay,
if you're in between the
video,
sun,
I don't know if you're gonna watch it, but they literally did. There's literally one astronaut saying that you can only see the stars when the sun is not out, and then there's another one that says that you can't. Like they literally, this is how you know they're lying, because if we all, let's say I pay for everybody to go to Paris, guys. We're going to see the Eiffel Tower, okay? But then we come back and we can't decide whether the Eiffel Tower was gold when it's lit up or if it's neon pink. Then no one is going to actually think that we went, because we would all be able to say, if we all went, we would have a similar story. We would not mess up on that specific detail of what color is the Eiffel Tower when it's lit up at night.
Except for the people who only visited Paris for 3 hours in the middle of the night.
No, it's the same color. It's the same color, no matter if you were there for 1 day or 5 days or 5 months.
It's the same color at night as it is during the day?
It's the same. This is the biggest thing that you would notice. This is the huge, one of the hugest things that you would notice if you went to space. You would remember what the Earth looks like and what the stars look like. And it also makes no sense that if we can see the stars here, that somehow they'll be less visible when you're no longer surrounded by pollution, the atmosphere, street lights, etc.
Yes, we can see the stars here.
I have a question for Matthew.
Sure.
Matthew, how do you navigate from the moon if there's no stars? Don't they navigate by the stars when they fly in space?
I don't know how they navigate.
They use the sextant on the first the moon landings, those missions. That's how they knew where they were. Did you know that?
No, I don't know anything about the...
You need the Horizon to use one of those, so that was just another story made up.
You sure do.
Okay, wait, so your claim is that it couldn't be this way because they're saying different things about the stars, and I was making up stories saying it could be this way. That's all I was saying. I wasn't saying it was that way. We're talking about whether it could or couldn't, whether that is a defeat or whether that's a disproof that they went to the moon.
If they're
Why don't you just say, I don't know?
I did say I don't know. I don't know.
Because it's very odd that they're making very declarative statements that contradict each other. Was something that everybody should agree on. And they never ever say, well, darn it, if I was only in there long enough to have my eyes adjust, I would have been able to see those dang stars. They don't say that. They said that you cannot view them.
That's a good question.
You know, I tagged you in the video, so it's just a good.
And you would constantly be looking out the windows from the ISS, looking for giants in space, different things like that. So you would even have your own camera taking pictures of stars, because you know we have giants in space. Space shuttle proved that.
Yeah, I don't think there are giants in space.
Then what was it?
A reflection from the window?
A reflection from the window, but it has the shuttle shadow on his forehead.
Radwin.
That's some crazy reflection.
Radwin, it's ladies' night. I'll text you in the chat. I mean, come on.
But okay, so also the stars never show up though in any of the pictures of space. When we show like the Earth, right? They never show up there.
I think there's plenty of pictures from space that show stars.
Of the Earth.
What you mean.
Of the Earth.
Say that again. We don't have pictures of what?
We don't have pictures of the Earth and the stars together.
I've seen lots of them.
Where they have the globe, and there's little stars surrounding. The globe.
Yeah. Here's one from the ISS. It shows the globe Earth on the bottom and the stars at top.
Okay, but then how come when we get the full picture of the globe, we have no stars?
It's too bright.
But we're right by this. You're more zoomed in.
How?
The Earth is very, very bright compared to the stars. That's how.
So why is it when we zoom in on the very, very bright Earth, we can see the stars, but when we zoom out, we can't see any of them, and it's a deep void black?
Because when you're zooming in, you're looking at the dark side, the nighttime side of the Earth. That's why you can only see stars at night, not during the day. Same thing.
You can see stars
during the day.
You can
barely, like sunset.
Whatever. This is not even. Sorry, I'm not even
Sorry, guys. I just had to ask that because I just wanted to hear the far-fetched justifications, and that's not to like criticize you, Matthew.
No, that's fine.
It's just
I can take it. Don't worry.
So many like reaches that we got. Like, just it's exhausting for me to hear how like it's like you're playing Twister. Like you got one arm like in the very back, and your leg is like on the other side of your head. Like.
Okay, so to be honest, I'm not trying to be twisty or anything. My goal here is to honestly and accurately represent what the majority of scientists say.
Yeah, but the astronauts don't say that, and that's what bothers me.
Then that's legitimate. Sure, I don't know what they're thinking.
Because those are the eyewitnesses, and the scientists can do damage control and make up an explanation for everything. It's like they're lawyers, but I'm focused on the eyewitness and what they have to say.
Yeah, so the basic principle I would say is if you can see the sun, you're going to have a hard time seeing the stars. If you can't see the sun, if it's behind the Earth, then you can see the stars. That's what we experience on Earth. That's what they experience in space.
Okay. Well, and what I need to do some homework too. I'm going to take the text or the words from all of these astronauts, and I'm going to write up their quotes. So I'll be a little bit more prepared so I can actually give you direct quotes because they contradict everything.
Yeah, I've heard some of those things.
Yeah. Yeah. And no offense, I'm going to take their word over yours.
Yeah.
So if they say there's no stars in space, I'm going to hold them to that. And then if we got another one saying there is, well, then we got a problem.
So when they were halfway between the Earth and the moon, on the way to the moon, they were in the sunlight. They could see the sun. They looked one direction, they could see the sun.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Don Pettit says, even when the sun is out, you can see the stars. And that's actually in the first clip of the video. He says, even when the sun is out, you can see the stars. So
I got a question for you on that trip to the moon when they're halfway to the Earth and they took pictures of the Earth.
Uh-huh.
You know that capsule only has one window, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of on the side. How did they manage to turn the capsule so the window was dead on the Earth, no wavering, no movement at all, and not change their trajectory to the moon? How did they do that?
Because they were just floating for most of the time. They weren't under power. You're right.
How did they keep it? How did they keep it lined up on the moon with one window?
Thrusters.
Or on the Earth, I'm sorry. Okay, so they used thrusters, but those thrusters did not in any way change their trajectory. Didn't affect it at all.
It rotated the...
yeah, I understand what thrusters do.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you fire any kind of thruster in space and don't have it perfectly balanced, it's going to change your trajectory in space.
Sure, it might have changed your trajectory slightly, but you can also use thrusters that rotate versus...
I understand.
Change. Yeah,
I understand you can use thrusters in a certain direction to turn something around, but what I'm saying is this is 1969. They're a floating projectile, right? They don't have any kind of propulsion at that point, right? And so any thrusters they have are just for minor maneuvering, but somehow they turn the thing to point that one window at the Earth rock solid. It never varied at all. It was just like they were sitting still, and somehow turned it back later on. Man, they were good in 69 with the computing power of a simple calculator.
Yeah, they were very good. Science and engineering is the answer. They didn't need computers to do the turning around, but yes, they were. It was a very
that is a fairy tale. That is denial of reality and swallowing a bigger lie than anything I can imagine. I don't have that much faith. Just saying. But go on with your stories.
I do. I do have faith in engineering.
Engineering is one thing. I was a programmer. Okay, I programmed back in the 80s, and I'm telling you, what they had in the 60s was not that sophisticated. They even say it wasn't that sophisticated.
Yes.
Okay,
right.
So they didn't have the computing power to pull off what you said they did.
Oh, I was just saying they rotated the capsule. That doesn't take any computing power. You just use.
Oh, you have to have it perfectly balanced, remember, or you're going to change your trajectory. And if you change it just a little bit, you're not going to hit the moon.
That's in the initial thrust to the moon, the initial burns. But once they're on their way,
you made that up. You just made that up. I mean, seriously, you're making up everything as you go along. Like, this could be and that could be, but you know what? That doesn't matter. You have to have some evidence or some kind of plausible argument, but you're doing ad hoc explanations, which is a fallacy. Anyway.
So I'm saying they could do it, and you're saying they couldn't. We're both making up ad hoc explanations.
No, they said they couldn't. They said they couldn't.
You said they couldn't rotate with thrusters, and I say they can. So how do we?
No, you said. No, see, you're changing what we were just talking about, because what I'm saying is I started out asking you how they turned it to face the Earth without any kind of wavering, without altering their path to the moon, without anything, and you made up a story about computing power to keep everything in balance.
I didn't say anything about computing power. I said they just
whatever. But the thing is that even if you think that mechanically they could do this,
yeah,
they had. Yeah, you have to tell me that they had the technology to perfectly balance that in space when they, never mentioned any of this stuff. They just said, "Look, we're just looking out the window, and there's the Earth." Well, they had to turn it to face that. But anyway, I just had a question for you, but it's just a story time, so no biggie.
Yeah.
Just make sure you do some yoga after all this. Make sure you do some yoga after all this bending over backwards. I recommend downward dog and child's pose. Good.
I'm not saying anything out of the ordinary here. This is what the vast majority of people say, by the way.
Well, and the vast majority of people are overweight and obese. Just because a lot of people are something doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, appeal to authority fallacy. I recognize that. I'm just reminding you that I'm not sort of a lone wolf out here. I'm just trying to accurately represent what us Globers generally say. That's all.
I'm pretty sure they wouldn't exactly agree that that's an accurate representation, even of them. Just saying. I mean, you said it was stories, so.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, you'd have to talk to somebody who knows about the moon landing and that stuff. I don't know.
Some of us have been sitting in this chat room for a few years, so we have met just a couple of Globers in our time. But thank you so much for educating us.
I feel like that was a little bit sarcastic, but I'll take it. Sure, you're welcome.
Oh, you picking up on my sarcasm. You are clever.
Well, throw 52 million smackaroos at me per day, and I will produce evidence that I've been to freaking Uranus. You mention it. I mean, pick your destination. With spaceships and everything.
I wanted to ask Matthew, like, you've been here a while now. From 1 to 10.
Once in a while, yeah.
Yeah. But I just want to know, from 1 to 10, like, how sure are you that you live on a spinning ball? 10 being like you have no doubt whatsoever.
10, I have no doubt whatsoever. The alternatives just don't appeal to me.
You've never
Can I
even
ask
heard
him a
anything
question
that's
on Ladies' Night?
That is definitely interesting.
Hey Matthew,
Sorry,
would
what?
you be willing to bet 2 bitcoins that it's a globe?
I'd be willing to bet 2 bitcoins that it's a globe, yes.
Really? Well, Dave Weiss will take you up. He's offering 2 bitcoins if you can prove it's a globe, but you don't have to put up 2 yourself. You can just collect the 2 free bitcoins. Can you collect those points from Dave so we can see?
Matthew just said he would put up 2 himself. So I'm going to put 2 up against his 2, and now he needs to prove globe. Now I'm going to give you my little symbol so you can pay me. When do you want to pay me?
I've spoken with Dave Weiss. I don't find his evidence compelling.
I don't care about him.
But you don't regard.
He's not going to, guys. Like, he's convinced at like 10 out of 10.
He's not going to regard he's not going to regard anything concerning anything.
Court decide like they always do, and then they say no. Not proving globe again. Click.
Well, he's lying through his teeth because if he hadn't heard anything that made him think twice, he would have never even came in here in the first place. Period.
No, I'm not lying.
Yeah, Matthew, I'm actually very curious. What was it the first thing, like, when you heard about flat Earth? What made you even come in here? Like, were you ever in any doubt that it might have been a globe, or were you just like, I'm going to teach those flat earthers?
I was never in any doubt, but I think that it's dangerous to listen to only people you agree with. Otherwise, you might end up in an echo chamber. Like I might end up in an echo chamber of globe believers. And so I think it's important to expose yourself to other ideas, politically, spiritually, even about the shape of the earth. So I like to read stuff I disagree with. And that's fine.
But if you, let's say you are Jewish, okay? How much time do you got to spend at a Christian church until you admit that you're starting to like the Christian? Because you spend a lot of time here.
I like listening when I'm doing other stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, but if somebody is like an active Jewish person, they wouldn't just be at a Christian church like not most of the time, but in their spare time. You know what I'm saying?
Once a week.
Yeah. Honestly, it's kind of fun to be in a place where I know I'm right and everybody else is wrong. I know you guys won't like that, but
wow,
it kills. It's a strange feeling.
Matthew, I have another question for you. If down the line you found some type of evidence that made you waver to like a 5 out of 10, right? Let's say that happens. Will you ever really admit it, or?
Of course,
because I know you're a professor or a teacher or whatever, and you do have a career on the line. But would you ever say it like publicly or anything?
Yes, of course. I would say what I believe publicly.
Even if it.
Yes, I already do that. In our culture, it is unpopular to say that you believe in a creator. It's unpopular to say that you believe that God exists. So I have lots of unpopular opinions. I believe that Jesus Christ rose from the dead. That's unpopular. I believe that there's 2 genders.
Yeah, but...
And I could get in trouble for that, for tweeting that, right? I mean, people have gotten canceled for saying stuff like that.
Who cares if you get canceled, really? Do you care?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. No, I don't care. I'm just saying that's an example. I have plenty of unpopular beliefs. So I'm not afraid of unpopular beliefs. Okay.
No, I was just curious because I do understand your position if you did not want it. If you would say I wouldn't reveal it or whatever, because your career is on the line. There's a lot of issues that people have to face when they do tell the truth. So I get it. So I was just curious.
Yeah, and I have sympathy for people who are. Yeah,
he believes in the Bible, even though the Bible says the Earth is flat and motionless.
That's a separate topic. But let me just say another reason why I like being here is that I do agree with you guys on many things, like being skeptical of what the government says, and also, not believing everything that people, that the mainstream media is bad for you, all that kind of stuff. And particularly, I disagree with scientism, which is the idea that science is the be-all and end-all, the ultimate truth. I think philosophy is higher than science. So I think there's an intelligent designer and that it's very clear evidence for that. So these are all unpopular beliefs of mine on which we probably agree.
Okay, that's fair enough. So let me ask you another thing then. What is your best proof, like your number one ever bestie proof that you have for the globe?
Well, a whole bunch of observations. The sun and the moon work right. The stars on Earth, GPS works. Pictures from space. Eyewitness testimony of people who've been there. I mean, there's lots. As far as the best one, the simplest would be just that the moon is the full moon is a constant size all night. I think that's pretty clear evidence that it stays the same distance all night.
I think
that's the best proof of a globe.
I think all of those things that you just mentioned pertained to above the Earth.
Yes, because it's so.
If
it's
I'm
so
not
big.
mistaken,
Yeah,
you're looking away from the Earth to ascertain whether you're on a spinning ball.
I use all of my senses and observations in concert with logic and reasoning to kind of figure out what's going on. Yes. I mean, if we try to squint at the horizon, you can barely tell anything by zooming in on a small little line, because refraction changes things up and down. It gets all wonky. So it's going to be hard to tell the difference between 1 mile being 0 inches or dropping 8 inches. It's going to be a little bit hard to tell. So that's why we use other references.
And so, talking about all the discussions that you've heard around the fact that we cannot measure the curve, we cannot find it anywhere. When we go out and measure, we see, oh, it's flat. We can see too far. The fact that we cannot ascertain, this axial rotation. The fact that it makes like hopeless sense in every way that you can possibly think of it. Of all these things that you've listened to, which one has piqued your curiosity the most, or has made you doubt this ball, this spinning ball?
Long distance observations over flat lakes and things like that.
And you dismiss them as if they are of no consequence.
Oh no, they have consequence. I mean, they require explanation. So yeah, I'd have to take that into consideration because it seems puzzling. How can you see farther than you should be able to? Those are legitimate questions that need to be answered.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, because, for example, you can stand on one shore of Lake Michigan 60 miles away and sometimes see the skyline of Chicago when the globe math says that you shouldn't be able to. So that requires explanation.
Okay, so that is the only thing.
Well, things like that, yeah. Like seeing too far. Other than seeing too far, I'm not sure what kind of evidence, like positive evidence, has been presented.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it feels like it's just squinting at the horizon.
Squinting at the horizon. Okay.
Yeah, you're using telescopes and trying to say, this is like a half a degree too high. These buildings are a little bit too high or a little bit too low or whatever. I'm like, okay, but let's look at all of the evidence.
Yep, and it measures flat. So anyway, sorry to interrupt, Matthew. I just wanted to give a chance to Hubert.
Yeah, let's move on. I've been here a lot. I don't need to chew
You've
on
been here. You know what, Matthew?
Yeah.
In my notes on you, you joined this channel on the 26th of September, 2020. So you have been here a good time. Yeah, a long time.
Ooh,
so well done
okay.
for lasting.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. Matthew's been around. But yeah, I know you're gonna stick around. So let me give Hubert.
Yeah, Hubert. Let's hear from
him. Chance. Hubert, you there, or is it Hubbard?
Yeah. No, it's Hubert. What's going on?
What's up, man? Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Hubert. Welcome.
How are you?
Dude.
Thank you. How you guys doing tonight?
I know it's ladies' night. I just wanted to mention: has anyone ever heard of the Salad Fingers cartoon from about 20 years ago?
Yes. Why did
Salad Fingers?
Yeah, that's where your character is from.
Oh, that's my name.
Funny.
Good, cool story.
Salad Fingers.
So, Hubert.
Yes.
You want to tell us about the shape of the Earth? What your thoughts are?
Yeah, no, I came in here a couple times and I was just questioning what the shape of the Earth was. I don't really have a positive stance on either side, so I got invited to this server to maybe get some more information instead of just looking stuff up on Google.
Have you done any research into anything? Because I told you about the additional information last time we talked. So have you went and looked
Oh, I've been working like a mad dog this week, so I haven't had a chance yet. My weekend just started, so now I will have some free time over the weekend.
Nice.
Yeah,
What's
no, I watched some
something
videos.
that is
People,
most
yeah.
interest? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna ask you what's something that is most interesting to you that you'd probably look into first.
Probably what space is, because I guess there's different concepts of what space is, and I guess there could be something different than what I'm told. I always thought that it was just stars and round planets out there, and sun and the moon, our solar system, and I don't know. It's some videos I watched just made me think, hey, maybe there's something different. They were describing like why is gravity selective, and I was like, it's kind of true. And they were going into like some space stuff like the moon landing, and it does kind of look weird that it looks like some popsicle sticks and tinfoil was able to blast off from the moon, and I was like, yeah, it is kind of weird.
It is weird. What I find interesting too is that will always go to space to confirm the shape of the Earth, which happens. And I think I've realized that it's because of all the TV, because we're shown so many different planets, and it just every single day is in the media, and because they need to keep our focus on Earth and not with what we can observe. So do you think we can go to space?
I don't know. It seems like it would take a inconceivable amount of power, right? Like I don't know. That's a long way up. And yeah, I guess you just float there, and then how do you come back down? Yeah, it doesn't seem extremely plausible.
Right, it's not logical because we are unable to break on through to the other side. Music has a lot to do with it as well, in my opinion, too. With the
I think you're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't have very good service. Sorry, guys. Take it away.
No worries. You want to?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Want to try again? Yeah. Go ahead. Did I cut out again? Hello?
You're still there. I can hear you.
You're here.
Oh, okay. Everybody's just quiet. Okay.
So I think what you're suggesting is that there are certain musicians that might be privy to what's going on, and they've put it in within their lyrics, or artists making movies and things like that, putting little hints in the art.
Yes, I was hinting at that. Yes, absolutely.
So it sounds like the new Hubert is just coming in here to get some knowledge, hopefully, and learn some truth in time when he deciphers what is true from what is false.
Yeah, you're correct. I'm here to listen and just get information from. I guess there's probably a wealth of knowledge in here, so it's probably one of the best places to be, right?
Right. And you will find different days, different times. You will meet all different people in here. So yeah, I've learned a lot over the years in here. It's been wonderful.
I've only been in here
Oh.
a couple days, like 2-3 days.
Oh, okay. Well, if you ever do get the bug and want to know more, down the bottom of these channels, we have rooms dedicated to subtopics with a plethora of information. So if you ever do want to look up certain topics to do with the flat Earth, you will find information in this channel. I mean, in this server.
Okay, great. I'll have to check that out. I'll have some time this weekend.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for joining us.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime.
Is there any other Globers in this channel that want to ask questions?
We could. There is ILF Tomato. I don't know if he's a Glober or not, but he only has VC.
Just here to listen, really. I've already talked with one of your moderators.
Awesome. Welcome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I'm a Glober.
Let's see who else is here.
Six Spider, welcome. Six Spider's a Glober.
Hi, welcome
How are
back.
you, mate?
Hello.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
You as well.
And how's your potato earth going today?
Excuse me.
No, I'm just being silly. Sorry.
If you're asking for my well-being, I'm fine, thank you. I see you from Australia, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Do you live next to a beach?
I live about an hour's drive from the beach.
East Coast or West Coast?
I'm on the East Coast at the moment. I live on the Cumberland Plain in New South Wales. I live on a plain, so I live near the Blue Mountains. So we can go up the Blue Mountains to the lookouts and we can see all the way to the Sydney skyline. It's beautiful and flat
There it is.
where I live. Yeah. It's a nice place.
Cool.
I can't recognize your accent. What country are you in?
I live in Canada.
Oh, were you born in Canada?
Nope.
No, that's right, because you don't have that Canadian accent. What accent is that, may I ask?
May I not answer for now?
Yeah. Did you say Finland?
I said, I asked, may I not answer for now?
Yeah, of course. You do not have to answer.
So Six Spider was here earlier, Becky, and kind of been discussing with him. Were you able to look into refraction, Spider?
No, I didn't have the time. I'm working.
Okay. Do you have any questions for us?
Yeah. Does anyone here lives next to a beach?
Well, I can say my auntie lived on the beach, so I've spent a lot of time on the beach. Her backyard literally was the beach. So what questions do you have about the beach?
For sure. So, may I ask your aunt or that city or like next to the beach on the other side? So if you're looking west, you said East Coast. If you're looking east, you see ocean only, right?
Yes.
And if you're looking back, if you're looking west, what do you see? Do you see buildings and mountains?
You see buildings on the East Coast Sydney beach. On the Sydney Northern beaches, you're in the city. So yeah, you turn around and you see houses and buildings and that kind of thing.
Right. And I'm sorry, just to be more clear, this might sound a bit weird that I'm asking that way. Just to be clear, if I'm standing on the beach on the water, and I'm looking and I'm looking at the water, is there anything in front of me or is it just water over there?
Yeah, when you're looking out from the East Coast, you can only see water.
Right. And so if you see only water and then you turn 180 degrees to the west, what you see in front of you is buildings, correct?
Yeah, it would be the house, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to describe a phenomena that happens everywhere on this planet, Earth, or whatever you want to call it. What I want is if someone can explain to me how is that possible on a flat plane.
How is what possible, Dad?
Yeah, I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. I'm just saying. So now I'm going to explain the phenomena. If you go to your aunt's place at sunrise, the shadow or the darkness, sorry, I know there were the people here from before, the darkness of the night will disappear from the top to the bottom of those buildings. So if you go in the sunrise and you're looking west to those buildings, they'll be in darkness. As the sun, you say, come closer, I say go up. The shadow will drop from the buildings, from the top to the bottom. How is that possible on a flat plane?
Well, for a start, I'm taking your word for it, and for a finish, I might be able to explain it. And if I can't explain it, does that therefore mean that the Earth isn't flat just because I can't answer that?
No, I did not say that. I'm asking, can you explain it on a flat plane?
Well, I would have to actually be able to experience what you're saying to really get the picture, and then I would have to think about what you're saying, experience it, and then answer you. So unfortunately, because I'm sitting in my lounge room and I haven't done that before, I can't answer. Can anybody else answer that question?
I'm not really sure I understand what he's trying to portray here.
I think
about
he's
the
trying to
shadow.
say
Yeah, can you explain it one more time?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm talking about a beach that is on an east coast. I'm saying that because of, what's your name? Becky. I'm saying that because of Becky, okay? So we are in the mindset of Becky. We are in Australia, in, not Perth, anyway, east coast somewhere, okay?
Sydney.
Now, Sydney, sorry. I'm on the beach, like I'm on the sand, right? I'm looking in front of me to the east and I see nothing but ocean. Now, as the sun rises, you say come closer, I say rises. As the day starts, I turn around 180 degrees to the buildings. In the darkness of the night, what I call shadow will disappear from the buildings from the top to the bottom. How is that possible on a flat plane?
Well, basically what you're describing is how light works. So light would work the same whether it be a globe or a flat earth. You're describing how light works.
How did I describe? I described a phenomena that happens with
which is how
the light.
It would how the light would saturate the darkness.
Light doesn't saturate darkness. There is no light in the darkness.
Well, when the light comes, there is no darkness, and you're describing how light works.
Well, I'm describing the motion of the light, which is showing up on the top of the buildings first.
Which makes sense because they are higher.
They're higher than the sun?
So I'm not saying that.
No.
Then exactly. If they're high, well, if they're not higher than the sun, why doesn't the bottom of the buildings?
Oh my God! Because the sun's in the sky. Because the sun is in the sky and it is approaching, so it's still approaching from above. My goodness. Next question.
Yeah.
Then why is the bottom still in darkness?
Localized. Because the sun is more localized than you're imagining, man.
I don't understand any of those answers.
Here's what. Quickly, can I please try and respond? Hold on. Because the answer is the sun is still approaching from above. It's still coming from up in the sky, mate. Whether it's coming from around a curve or if it's coming from in the distance and small and local, it's still coming from above. So it's still going to illuminate that building in the same manner, whether it be a globe or a flat earth. It is
but
not
it isn't.
anything.
But it isn't. No, you go.
You're saying
go
it
to the
doesn't.
beach.
Okay. So you're saying that
and
it
you'll
doesn't
see.
illuminate the top of the buildings first. You just said that it did.
Oh my God! I said that it did, and then you said that
That's
illuminates.
what I'm saying.
Well, you said it illuminates the object fully the same. I said it's not because it's obviously
because it's still illuminating from above, whether it's a local sun or a sun from far away. It's still in the sky, so it's still going to illuminate the tops of those taller buildings first.
Why it's not? But why? It's not illuminating the bottom if it's above the building. What's the problem?
Because it will as soon as it gets closer in its approach. It's the same whether it's a globe or a flat earth in that scenario. You're not getting a gotcha moment there, mate. It's still coming from above and it's still approaching.
Why the darkness drops from the top
oh my goodness.
to the bottom?
I don't think you listen.
Whoa.
Okay. Well, hold on. Are you trying to say why would we see the sun, or why? Because the darkness doesn't drop. It's not something that you see it dropping. You see the daylight. Hold on. You see the
You never seen a shadow move?
Let me finish.
Sorry.
Again, with this shadow, you need to understand what a shadow is first. First of all, you see daylight before you actually see the sun. So the light of the sun is not like a flashlight where it's like dropping down to the bottom of the building. You're making it sound like that's what's happening. Everything is illuminated at the same time, but if you were to be standing on top of this is what the Globers claim is like, if you're standing on top of the top of the building, you might see the sun first, whereas if you're standing at the bottom of the building, you don't see the sun first. Unless that's what you're trying to explain, what you're trying to say about the shadows dropping down or whatever, that doesn't make sense because that doesn't happen.
Well, let's change the word shadow to darkness, and it is happening all over the world. So, in sunset or sunrise, if your place is next to a beach, which means you don't have anything, right, obscuring, you'll see shadows or darkness that goes up or down from those buildings. Depends, of course, if you're the east or the west. In this case, we're talking about the east.
Can you demonstrate this? Because I don't understand what you're talking about. Demonstrate this for me, please. Mm-hmm. Can you show me like a video, a picture, or something that you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to misunderstand your argument and
what I'm saying is not an argument. This is something that we see.
Yeah, whatever phenomenon you're talking about.
Yeah, I just wanted to know that.
Can you post it so that? Yeah. Not an argument, sorry, your claim.
Okay, give me 5 minutes. I'm sending you something up. We can keep talking about it if you want. Time.
Well, because from what I understand is if you're talking about shadows, again, you have to have something that's casting the shadows. So let's not, don't want to get back into that whole conversation again.
Right. So let's do this. When it's dark out at night time, that darkness, how do you call it? What word should I use? That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking darkness. Perfect. Mm-hmm. So now change everything every time that I said shadow to darkness.
Hey, Lulu.
Yeah, but
you interject here. Are they going to start that arena thing, or am I an hour early? Sorry, I just wanted to ask.
I was told it's going to be in 1 hour, so that's going to be.
Oh, okay. I'm an hour
whatever time is over there. Yeah.
Sorry.
Just for everybody that doesn't know, since you brought it up, I can just mention it now. It is at the top of the hour. There will be a like a question interview type of thing happening with Tommy Glober versus Quantum Eraser in the arena downstairs today in 1 hour. So we're gonna finish Ladies' Night in about 45 minutes so that everybody.
We moved it up above the live stream so that when people join, they'll be able to see it as well.
Oh, okay. Then my bad. It's gonna be in the live stream. in 1 hour.
No, I'm
And
very
can
sorry.
Elijah have the floor for a moment, guys?
Yeah, I'm very
please?
sorry. The arena was moved up above the live stream so that everyone
Oh,
can
I'm
see
so
it up there.
sorry.
It's okay. No
Okay.
worries.
All right, let me rephrase the whole thing and then I'll let Elijah talk. The arena is not downstairs, it's right up above us. It's upstairs now. So after ladies' night ends, please go there in 1 hour. There's going to be interview / debate. I'm not quite sure. But between Tommy Glover and Quantum Eraser, I think it's going to be great. And then, yeah, go ahead, Elijah, if you want to chime in.
Thank you. Mic check.
You're good.
You're good. Okay, it's fairly simple, right? When you have the sun, which is overhead, approaching, the light from it is going to reach higher elevations first, like a tall building, before it would reach the floor of that building. Because the top of the building is closer than the bottom of that building. Conversely, when the sun is leaving, the last to see the light from the sun is the top of the building, because again, it is a higher elevation than the land below. It's not that hard. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's how I understood it, Elijah. But he's saying like you actually see the sun. From what I understand him saying is like you actually see the sunlight itself casting itself on top of the building and then like zooming down, which is, from what I understand, you have the whole place being lit equally in a without actually seeing the sun itself first, because the light would reach that part first before the sun approaches. So that's what I'm trying to get him to understand, but I don't know.
But wasn't that how they did it back in the olden days? They tried to prove the globe by some shadows and a well, or some wells or something?
Oh, yeah, the sticks and the shadows.
Oh, sticks, sorry. We can't forget those sticks. Sticks and shadows, baby.
Yeah. All right. You still there, Spider, or are you still looking for the video?
I'm here. I'm making the video for you.
All right.
Saying in the chat that Matthew doesn't have the measurements.
Oh yeah, I was just responding to that Brazil buildings thing, explaining what's really going on there.
Because you know, don't you?
No, I don't know. I just know what they said.
I feel like I'm speaking to the authority of the globe side when I'm speaking to you, Matthew.
I am
like
pretty good.
Authoritarians entered the room.
Yeah, I am pretty good at the globe stuff.
Wow. He's very good at the globe stuff, guys. Did I hear you say I had you on my phone before because I was making coffee? Did you say that you were a Christian, Matthew?
Yes, I believe that God.
Oh, brother.
That there's an intelligent designer, that Jesus Christ rose from the dead, the whole bit.
Oh, wow, brother. Much love, my brother in Christ.
Thank you. You too.
Ah, that's what I could recognize, the brother in Christ in you. That's what it is. It can't be this globe nonsense. Family can agree to disagree. That's all I want to say on the matter, brother.
I would agree with that.
Awesome.
But you choose to ignore the beginning of the book?
That's a longer conversation. I don't know if we need to hash that out
Hey,
here.
Matthew, do you
yeah.
believe in evolution?
No.
So you're like Kent Hovind. You're kind of like in his spot.
Yeah. Not quite. I think that he was wrong about how long the Earth has been around. Is my suspicion, but I don't know for sure.
How many millions?
It seems to be 4 billion years old, but it also is very clear that it was created by an intelligent designer.
Yeah. Oh, a 4 billion years designer?
Sure, why not?
Where
Yeah.
is this religion?
Yeah, let's.
Where do it?
Sorry, get me again.
You have any idea how much a billion is? It's a lot more than a million.
Ladies' night. If you got a PP, no talkie.
Roger that.
All right, we'll give
like millions of years of erosion not accountable for.
Oh, that was bad roboting. Okay, cool.
Did you guys hear me before when I said Matthew's not a leader from the globe side? He's an ambassador.
God fucking damn it. I don't know how many times I've...
Alright.
I thought you were allowed to do it if it's a joke.
Compan. You there, Compan?
Yes, I'm listening.
Hello.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yes,
Hi.
thank you.
You're welcome. What do you think of the shape of the Earth is?
I don't know. You ask me this same question every time I enter here, but all I know, the world isn't what they tell us it is. That's all I have to say.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes?
Any questions?
No. Sorry, I'm drunk today, so my English is not that good. But I have no answer or questions right now.
Okay,
I'm just here
no
to
problem.
listen, and I'm just here to listen. And if the conversation is good, I may enter.
All right, sounds good. Just
Yeah.
if you have anything to say, just let us know.
Yeah. All I have to say is the world isn't what it told us it is.
Okay, sounds good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well.
Let's move on to. You're welcome. Torn. Torne. I know you've been saying stuff in the chat. You want to talk?
About what? I'm really not new to the idea of flat Earth. Why? What do you want to ask?
Oh. Okay. You don't have to talk if you don't want to.
I've been kicked out of 24/7 Flat Earth Discord several times.
Oh, okay. Nice. Welcome back.
Thank you. Any questions for me? I don't really have any questions for you guys.
Yeah, what do you think of the shape of the Earth is?
I think we're in a station. We're in a stationless plane. Yeah, that's about as far as I'll go there. What we're given as far as setting dimensions for setting of ball hurtling through space, none of that makes sense. And I believe that for a long time. But as far as like the actual like what it is, you have to be outside. You have to be able to go outside of what Earth is to be able to see what it is, so I'm not going to make a claim as to what the shape of it is. But as far as it looking pretty flat and feeling pretty stationary, I'm going to say that it's pretty flat and stationary.
Okay, fair enough. I guess you don't have any questions, you said, right?
Nah, I totally wasn't expected to actually. I wasn't expecting to be brought into the chat. Nah, I mean, yeah, honestly, the more I talk, I'm probably just going to insult somebody.
Okay. No problem. If you do have any questions, just chime in and let us know then.
All right, I'll try.
All right. Okay.
I gave you a link there if you want to have a look.
Did you post it?
Yeah.
Let me see. Try to find you.
Less than a minute ago.
All right. Let's see. Sunrise, sunset.
That's what I mean by the darkness goes up and down. So if you're next to a beach, all you have to do is have the courage to take a look at the darkness. And this effect or this phenomena cannot be explained on a flat plane because the source of the light, needs to come below to cast a shadow above, like on the top with, you know what I mean?
Hold on. My internet is sucky. It keeps freezing. I'm waiting for it to load up. So if anybody else is able to actually watch what he's talking about, you can chime in. I'm trying to watch it.
I just want to have a shout out and say hello, Ron. Lovely to see you and hear your voice, mate. It's been a long time.
Someone says that it only happens on a flat plane. So you're telling me, can you demonstrate that? Can you demonstrate that this phenomena happens or can happen on a flat plane when the source of the light does not go below the horizon? Can you do that?
Can we, guys?
Remember. Wait.
I can't watch the video.
I just want to explain the phenomena. Just remember, I'm talking standing on a beach when there is nothing besides the ocean to cast shadow. To make darkness.
You don't understand how light works. It works on a flat plane. You need to show us how it works on a globe.
No.
So.
Yeah, I don't think you understand the phenomena that happens.
Becky, are you able to watch the video?
Oh, I guess if you make me. How long does it go for?
It's 24 seconds.
24 seconds. Yeah, I can watch that.
I keep getting stuck at 3 seconds. I can't get past that.
Remember, when the sun sets or rises, the shadow or the darkness goes the opposite way. So if the sun sets, the shadow rises. And when it rises, the shadow, in a way, sets. This is something that you all see in all east and west beaches all around the world. The only thing that you have to do is to have the courage to look at it and explain how can that happen on a flat plane. Remember, you're looking, one side is ocean only. There is nothing there to create this darkness.
Okay. So you're saying that with no on, I think you're forgetting the setting that you're proposing here, being on a beach with nothing to be able to cast a shadow. The light doesn't crawl down a building, wouldn't crawl down the house. The shadow doesn't disappear from the top bottom.
Yeah, it does.
It's illuminated.
Okay,
No.
okay.
No, it's okay. So you're saying that the shadow, how long would that shadow have to be? How many miles long? It's illuminated all at once.
Okay, I saw the video.
Crawling.
Go ahead.
I mean, I guess I'll have to watch this video too. But a crawling shadow. Is it?
No, I get what he's. Yeah, he.
Is it? Are you sure
he shows it.
Is
He's
it?
been given several explanations from several people to why the shadow or the darkness, what is it? It goes away from the top to the bottom. When light comes, okay? So Elijah gave him an explanation, I gave him an explanation, and some other people gave him an explanation, but he's not accepting any explanation. So he's saying, how is this possible on a flat earth? And I said, well, my explanation was it's possible on a flat earth because whether the sun's going around a ball or if it's approaching from a flat plane, it's still above us and it's still moving towards us. So that's why it would be. And as Elijah said, the tops of the buildings, the tops of the buildings are the closest to that light source. That is why it starts to disappear from the top to the bottom. I think your confusion.
Yeah.
Hang on. I think your confusion, Six Spider, is you're thinking because it's on a flat plane, it should be disappearing in the opposite direction. But I think you're trying to suggest that the sun is so close on a flat earth that it would disappear in the opposite direction. Is that what you're trying to suggest?
No.
Okay, so either
I'm saying that as the sun
or a globe Earth, why would you say that it's not possible?
Okay.
When we've explained.
Okay. When there is no sun apparent, right? No, we see no sun, and we're standing on the beach. In front of us,
but we've already said to you that the light comes before the sun.
It's not.
We see the light. The light travels before the sun, so light breaks before sun approaches. So already.
Well, first, it's nice that you admit now that light can break and bend. That's new.
I didn't admit anything. I said that the daylight breaks. That's
that's called light, and it's breaking, and that's why you see the light before.
Dude. Breaking isn't bending. Don't put words.
Okay, so can I explain again Can I explain again the phenomena?
Well,
so you would.
No, I don't think so.
Situation a few times.
Yeah, and can I just say that video? I did watch it, and that's a terrible video because the guys are not even at the beach. Okay, why are you going to provide a video of what you're trying to explain some phenomena at the beach, and you're not even going to provide a video of some dude at the beach?
Can I answer first to the Australian girl, please?
Go ahead.
You said that the sun is above the buildings. And that's exactly...
Yes, the sun is above us. That's correct.
Then,
it is above everything, okay? The sun isn't just above the buildings.
Then why the darkness...
It's above
Can I answer? Then why that darkness starts to disappear from the top of the building?
Shadow you're talking about. You're talking about shadows now that are being made by the approaching light. So as that light approaches and gets closer, those shadows move because the sun's above it.
Shadow is a lack of light.
You're trying to use this for any kind of proof. You're talking about shadows in buildings that are made by the sun approaching. That's what you're talking about.
Right.
And it doesn't prove anything.
Something creates that shadow, isn't it?
Yeah, the sunlight. As it gets closer, it gets brighter. Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry.
He's not understanding the explanation. He's not absorbing it and actually listening. And this is the problem he had earlier as well when he was talking about shadows and casting stuff. He doesn't understand light. That's the issue here, and he's not accepting it.
Well, you haven't accepted our explanation. I'm not sure exactly what your shadows on these buildings with the sun approaching you're trying to prove. Because it's going to happen, that's going to happen on those buildings, whether it's going around a planet or whether it's coming from above and approaching on a flat plane.
I'm asking in the beginning, when the light just starts to show up, why does it lit the top of the building first? That's my question.
When
that
it gets
means
that
wait.
It's higher.
That means
I just answered that.
Wait. That means no, you didn't, because
I did. I've answered you more than once.
That
and
means
so has other people.
That means the darkness drops from the building, which means in the beginning, when the sun just rises, there's only the top of the building is lit.
No, it isn't, because that's not true either. Because as the daylight, and I can't even say the word breaks because you're using it against me, as we see daylight, there is no shadows then. The shadows only begin as the sun gets closer. The daylight comes before the shadows, sweetheart. You're not proving anything this way.
Who creates that darkness on that building before the sun shows up? Who creates that darkness on that building?
I do. I'm the darkness creator in the world.
The lack of sun, dude. But guess what? If the moon is full, it's going to be illuminated by the moon. And there will still be shadows all over the place, too.
How is that related to
another
anything?
way to explain it?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, so there's another explanation, or there's only one?
No, I'm trying to explain it in another way. Maybe you can understand.
Okay.
So, I said earlier that because you're using the same argument when people try to explain sunsets, they're being able to see sunsets when they're on top of the building versus when they're down on the floor. It's not because it's going over a curvature. It's just it's disappearing based on your perspective. The higher altitude you go, the more you see. That's just how perspective works. Do you get that?
No, because that's not.
No, it doesn't.
Works. No.
You don't see further when you're higher.
It depends where you look. What if you look up, straight up?
I don't care where you look.
Well,
okay.
What do you mean you don't care where I look?
Let me. You said depends on where you look. I'm talking about if you're looking in the same direction. If you're looking at the same direction,
right,
and you go up higher, are you going to be able to see further than when you were on like a lower elevation?
And I'm asking you, and I'm telling you, it depends where you look. Because if I'm looking up to the sky, and then I just go
We're
up,
obviously not talking about looking up in the sky.
Then tell me, are you looking at the horizon?
Yes, that's what we're talking about.
Well, you didn't say that. And that's not perspective, and that's what I'm saying. Perspective
Literally, the whole conversation has been about that. Why would you assume I'm talking about looking up?
Because it's to give you a point that perspective got nothing to do with what's in front of you.
Yes,
if it's on the horizon or not. No, perspective happens no matter where you look, right? Right? If you're looking down at your feet, do you see it in perspective?
Bro, can you focus? If you're looking at something at the horizon,
Thank you. Yes.
And if I go up in higher elevation, am I going to be able to see further?
Further on the ground, yes. But whatever was above the horizon, you won't be able to tell.
Yeah, I agree with what Crypto wrote. He's just reaching, and he knows that he can't prove a globe, and so now he's just trying to use, I don't know, some weird like shadow stuff to prove nothing.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you're saying perspective has nothing to do with it when it has everything to do how we see and observe reality. If I have something that is
sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
If I look at, for example, street lamps or whatever. And if I'm like at the ground level versus if I'm at the same level as where the street lights would be, I'll be able to see further down the street, right? At the street lights, not at the ground, but at the actual lamps.
Like, yeah, yeah, okay. Yes.
Okay, so you it's not just about things on the ground. Even if things are hanging up above, it does depend on how like your perspective is and how far away you are from that object.
So can I ask you a question?
Yes, but you're okay. So let me ask you this: when we're talking about perspective, do you always consider horizon as this is what we're talking about?
We're talking right now in this particular situation. We're talking about the horizon, looking up at the horizon, and when the sun approaches versus when it's going away from you, right? We're talking about that light source. When that light source goes away from you or it's approaching you, it does depend on your elevation on when you're going to be able to see it. Because the sun is constantly moving, it's not just standing in one spot. So you're not going to be able to, you're going to be able to see it approaching you or leaving away from you, right? If you're just standing in one position. But when you go up higher, you'll be able to see further,
right,
and clearer. So then you'll be able to see the sun, quote unquote, longer.
Okay, sure, yes.
Okay, that's your explanation.
That's.
So I'm just curious. If
I don't understand. You explained.
I want to ask you. I know I'm interrupting it, but I have a question. I kind of want to know what the answer is before I hear anything else about this. If you don't gain an understanding of the light from the sun and how it works and how the sun and the moon and stars and all that move, what does that mean to you? Does that mean globe to you? Because there are so many other, like, even if you don't gain an understanding of the movement of the sun, the earth has been measured flat, right? So it's obviously not a sphere. So regardless of what kind of perspective you're going to have on this, it's not going to mean globe. Whether you understand how it moves and how the light works or not, it's not going to mean globe because it's been measured flat. And I'm just curious, like with all the other questions and all the other things about, the sun's light and how it approaches Earth and how we can't have divergent and convergent rays, both simultaneously, and they're alleged to be parallel and they're not observed to be, and supposedly not. Like there's so many other things to this. I'm curious why you're fixated on this. Is it going to mean globe for you? And how would you jump to that conclusion from that?
Well, you jump to a lot of conclusions right there. Me not understanding light, me thinking all sorts of weird things. But I'll let that go. The answer is no. This will not prove you a globe.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
But that phenomena. Okay. But if that's good for you, that's good for me.
Yeah, but I'm explaining to you that a lot of I'm explaining to you that it is based on perspective. And you have to really understand how perspective works.
Perfect. So you're saying, so is there a way in perspective that something below the horizon, something that is physically below the horizon, will be viewed above the horizon? Is it possible through perspective?
Below? What do you mean below the horizon? You only assume that on a globe.
I'm not talking about globes. I'm asking you a question about
explain what you mean by below the horizon.
Very simple. You said that we're looking straight to the horizon. So you have a straight line in front of you. Correct? That's the horizon. And I'm asking if there is something that is below that line, but it's very far away. You don't see it, right? Can it be if it's physically below that line? Can it be apparent to be above it?
If something is like, okay, when something goes further away from it will converge into the horizon, right? It would appear like it might be going below, quote unquote, below, behind the horizon.
But does it go below? But does
no,
it?
It doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It's because of perspective and how far away the object is from you.
Right. So
also, I mean,
if it's
it also depends
above,
on atmospheric conditions. There's other
so if it's above, let's forget about that. We're talking. Let's not even bring that.
You're talking the lady, sir.
I'm sorry. Well, now, if you're saying, I'm asking again, if there is something that is physically above that line and it's getting further away from us and it's always above that line and it looks like it's getting closer to that horizon or that vanishing point, but let's say it continues almost endlessly, would it ever actually go below that line?
In reality, it won't go below that line. You're just seeing it as if it does, because the horizon is not even a real thing, right? It's just how we observe it.
Right. Okay.
It's not like a physical place, which is what we talked about earlier. The horizon is not actually a physical place. So it's just an apparent location where the sky appears to meet the earth or the water, whatever. So nothing is actually really going below it. It just appears like it is.
Okay. So how is it possible that we see light before we see the sun?
Because the reason we see light before the sun is because the actual source of the light, which is, they say it's the sun, is going further away from you. And so let me get this. Because this is what you're saying, right? You actually think that the sun, as it goes below the horizon, is going behind a curvature?
Yes. Below a curvature, yes.
Below a curvature. So then you shouldn't be able to see the sun ever shrinking away from you, right? Because it should always be sinking behind the horizon.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there have been plenty of, I've seen this myself too, where you actually see the sun shrinking away from you and then going into a point where it just disappears, right? Also coming towards you and getting bigger. And that should never be able to happen on a like if it was actually disappearing behind a physical curvature. It should always be the same size, always, and it should always be dipping behind the horizon.
Correct.
Okay, so if you pay attention to the chat, live stream chat, they're posting videos of the sun shrinking away.
Does that happen?
There's plenty of
time?
other videos. There's no, it doesn't happen every time. But it should never happen at all on a globe.
Hang on just 1 second. We can continue this. Like we'll continue this. I just want to do a quick cut in and remind everybody, at 9 o'clock, about the arena event. And I wanted to stop right here and I wanted to give Spiral of Love credit for the banner and thank you for making the banner for us. And Helio, if you want to go ahead, and he wanted to stop at 8:30 and it's already 20 till so that he could get ready for streaming the arena event. So I wanted to go ahead and give him a heads up that it's 20 till, and if he wanted to go ahead and do that, he can. So if you want to continue with the conversation, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Spider Rule of Love. And yeah, again, It's in about 20 minutes. It'll be in the arena right up above us.
I'm sorry, I was late. It was supposed to happen at 8:30, so, and I didn't want to interrupt the conversation, but it got 20 till, so, and I totally derailed the entire conversation. I know, but go ahead.
No, you didn't. You're fine. So, Spider, did you see the videos?
Yeah, I'm watching it all.
Okay, so how does that happen on a globe Earth?
Well, this doesn't happen, and that's why I asked. How often does this happen? How come this is not a daily occurrence?
Are you denying reality?
It doesn't matter when or how many times it happens. This is an observable fact all around the world. So it doesn't matter whether it happens every day, whether it happens once a year. It shouldn't happen at all.
And you're right. It doesn't happen.
It does happen, though. What are you talking about?
Are you denying the evidence that has been presented to you?
How come none of those photographs are with a sun filter? Because what you see is a glare of the sun, and as she sets, she's become less glowish, less bright, and then you see the real size of it. It's so simple, it's right in front.
Wait a minute. What do you mean the real size of it, though? It's the sun. We always see it dipping below the curvature, and why would we see the sun dipping below the curvature and not the real size of it or whatever? That doesn't make sense.
What? When you see it, you do see the size of it. When the glow is gone.
Sun video. I think it's in Africa. Does somebody have that one? I can try to find it. Because if he's gonna,
I'll grab it. Just give me a second. Go ahead. I'll post it in a minute.
Yeah, it's funny how you just totally dismiss the whole thing and say no, it never happened. When that's hilarious.
But it is.
Doesn't know.
Oh, you cut out, Kai. Oh, Kai, you still there?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, I was just saying, dude, if you're in an intellectual debate and somebody presents evidence that debunks your claim, you got to take the L. You can't just deny it and hand wave it. You have to actually take the L.
How come none of those are with a filter? Where you see the, let's call it, true size throughout the sunset.
How do you or not? Did you take the video?
No, but you can see the glare. You can see the glare. It's right there.
It doesn't matter. What is the explanation for the sun to shrink away from you like this?
It doesn't.
What do you mean? We're looking at it right now, shrinking away.
You guys complain
do you see
about
the video?
Fakes.
That's you see the
crazy.
video?
Did you watch Africa sun shrinking video?
That's amazing. Sun fade. Oh my! So the sun fades and shrinks. You have videos for all of it. It fades, and then it shrinks.
Okay, so this is probably coming from somebody that probably leaves their house 3 times a year. Okay, dude, watch the video. Watch the video.
Does the sun fades more or shrinks more?
Why are you obfuscating into that? Can you watch the video and actually?
I'm watching the videos, and in your videos, it's apparently shrinking, right? Shrinking and glaring and disappearing. So I'm asking, what is it more? Does it fades more, or does it shrink more?
In the video? What is the video showing?
Wow.
I don't know, one video shows this and one video shows the other. So I don't know.
Hi, ladies. Can I interject for a second? I know it's ladies' night. Can I just say something?
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you. You're doing a great job, ladies. Stop obfuscating, Sex Spider. Where's your proof of the sun disappearing over a curve? The ladies have showed you video footage of it disappearing into the distance. There's no proof of any curvature. He's just obfuscating. Great job, ladies. Carry on.
Thank you, Breaking. Yeah, do you have any proof that it actually goes over a curvature? Because we've already established that there is no physical curvature.
If I'll be able to talk for a minute or two, then I can just say what I think. No, if you want, like...
You've been talking, dude. You've been talking the whole time.
And then I'm done. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh. I think you hurt his feelings, Kai.
No? Can I continue?
Oh, well, I was going to say
Yeah.
if I hurt your feelings.
Okay,
I'm sorry
so-
if I hurt your feelings, but you got to learn how to.
I really want to hear what everyone has to say. Don't cut anyone off when they are finished. Then you can talk. Please, everyone.
Thanks, Compound, for that moderation. Go ahead, Spider.
So, we established and agreed that if we look at the horizon and the sun is below that line, and in this case also very far away, we can tell something is actually in front of the sun, something obscure the sun. And we can tell that from the shadows that we see on the buildings or mountains close to the ocean. Because if the sun is below that line, and like we all agreed, cannot be apparent or look like it's above that line, that means that the shadows should not move up or down. And in one time, everything is in shadow, and one time, everything is... It should have been, if the sun is above that line,